lost because we took Dallas.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
Well, you did,
Yeah.
but whatever. It's the same thing. All right, I think we should be live now. Let's go to the channel. I'll get the chat up.
How much stuff went Cleveland's way, though? Like, all these trick plays were ridiculous.
But whatever, it's the same thing. I don't know. It's good. I'm happy that they're winning.
Yeah.
We should be live now.
I've never seen them 3-1.
What's going on,
Hello, Jackson. How are you?
How you doing? I have no idea how to bet this game. That's why you just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Profitable day, Zaps. It's a good day.
It's been a good day, Zaps.
All right. So we went, fat guy, we went 6-6. Our wins were Minnesota +4.
Yeah.
Indy -2.5.
Yeah. I like that game.
Chargers we covered by half a point at +7.5.
That was a good line.
Carolina +4, who won outright.
I loved that game so much.
Yeah.
I said that, though. I said that.
Cincinnati covered for us.
Yeah.
And the Giants at +13. So those are all our covers. Our losses were Denver.
Jets. No, we took the Jets.
Well, we lost on the Jets. We lost on Dallas. We lost on Detroit.
Yep, against Dylan's daddies.
We lost on
The Saints.
Washington. We lost on Seattle or Miami.
So Seattle is just it's a nightmare betting against them.
We lost on the Raiders. So
Yep.
6-6. Jackson said doing good. Had a better day on bets than contest picks, which is always good. Yeah, we were the same way, Jackson.
Absolute same way.
Like the vid, Dylan. Dylan's shelling us out more than we do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we're doing something right, eh?
Yeah. So this market's really interesting. It's actually been bet down to 8.5. Well, it was bet up to 9.5. It's now at 8.5. Sharps are coming down hard on the Eagles, and I'm gonna put 1 unit down on the Eagles. At +8.5 or whatever line I can get them at here.
Dude, I'm like George Kittle if he had a cholesterol problem.
You want to see the peach fuzz up close? Not a chance tomorrow. All right.
Hello, Mickey Hill.
So I got the Eagles +8.5. -111, so it's not great, but sharps are coming down hard on the Eagles at kickoff.
James Lilly, Arizona Cardinals defense sucks. I don't know if it sucks, but because there is some serious talent on there, James Lil, but they're I don't know. Like Isaiah Simmons, they haven't figured out where to put him. They're short at corner. You know. Dylan getting frisky in the comment section as usual. Yeah, right on, Jackson.
So the line on the contest is 6.5, and we have San Fran at 6.5. So we're gonna hope for a middling play.
Why not?
The Rams and Raiders saved you on a teaser. Nice. Congrats, Marcus. I need Ertz tonight. I'm losing fantasy by half a point. Half a point's pretty safe for Ertz. Mickey's
Right
gonna go
on.
check the line.
I want to check out everyone's fantasy.
I was contemplating even getting some food just for the start of stream, just to keep the fans happy.
Oh, with their mukbang? Yeah, they want to watch you, right?
There's been a lot of talk about me eating on stream. A lot of positive talk.
Oh yeah.
What's going on, Heyo? That Giants upset would have cleared half of the Survivor pools. So close. I know. I'm out on Survivor, fat guy.
I went out because I thought you could pick later than you could. You had to have it in at 9:59 on Monday. I was gonna pick on the later game. I hadn't decided yet. I was trying to be like too strategic, and then I ended up not reading the rules, so I was just completely incompetent. I think I've done that twice now, honestly. No, one was I put the pick and I didn't save. I'm suspect about that one.
Just a sec, fat guy. I got to get our sponsor in tonight. We are sponsored by M&M peanuts, M&M peanut flavored chocolates. I'm expecting a check in the mail.
Big Rye, that's both mine and Scary Master's favorite.
All right. Got in on the skins plus 17.5 and a late backdoor cover. That was nice, Corey.
That's fantastic. That's the best part.
That must have been a live line at 17.5. I didn't see it get that high anywhere before the game.
Or he teased it, maybe.
Jackson says, "Don't get me started on fantasy. Horrible day with Eckler getting hurt and Josh Kelly still doing nothing."
Yeah.
Oh, that's lame.
How about Giants covering too? Absolutely.
A lot of fetish talk about watching you eat. Exactly, Donnie. Donnie knows. Cardinals are a huge disappointment. Do we like the under? Let me just double check, see what... we are historically bad at over-unders.
Historically bad, Marcus. So that we do like the under, which would mean the over is probably going to hit.
Well, the OU is 45.5, so if you can get it under 50, that's a home run.
What's up, Jay? There I am at 9. Fantastic. I love the contest. Yeah. It brings people together. Jay got smacked in the contest today. Contest has not been favorable to us. Let's put it that way.
I got to refresh. I didn't realize I didn't have the updated numbers. Here we are. Anything and everything 8-4. That's awesome. Tied for
you're in
tied
there.
for 7th, as well as Detroit one time. Friend of the show, Mark Dela Cruz at 9-2. Missed out on that Thursday game though.
Is DLC winning?
He's 4th place right now, or he's tied for 3rd with 9 wins. I would like to stream both games tomorrow. Are you able to stream early?
Yes.
Like 4 p.m.
Yes.
So we'll be streaming at the start of the Chiefs game, and we'll go most likely till the end. What's going on, Untouchable Jay? Jay got smacked in the contest today. Eagles. No action on this one for Mickey. Yeah, total shit show, dildo. Mickey keeps changing his name so you can't keep track of him. It's tough, Dylan. It's tough keeping up.
How are we looking in fantasy here? Fantasy.
Is the basketball game started?
Oh, Dylan's in a barn burner.
The Heat are 9.5-point underdogs tonight. I think I'm gonna leave that game.
Oh no, Mickey Hill. Wow. Mickey Hill might have ran into a monster in fantasy today. A guy who's projected to put up 150.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Holy. And Mickey's only had 4 players play, and they had great days. CeeDee Lamb had 20, Mike Evans 18, 17 for Traquan Smith, a total put in, and 23 from Kyler Murray. But he's up against Melvin Gordon and Joe Mixon. I mean, Joe Mixon has a career fantasy day today. DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. Whose team is this? Well, it's DLC's team. Holy. Wow. So Mickey Hill's hoping for a big game from Jeff Wilson Jr. and George Kittle.
Oh wow. This is quite the matchup.
I know. I'm looking at it right now.
I like how the lowest point total that you can put up is 14, and you're still only a 21% chance to win.
Yeah. Taking a look at Dylan's. All right, Dylan's down half a point, and he has Ertz versus Jake Elliott. I like Dylan's chances, even though they have the other guy as a favorite.
Fat guy, you have Ayuk and Jerick McKinnon tonight.
Yes, I do.
Playing against the Electric Bolts, who have gone 9-3 in the contest this week.
That's good because they're going to lose in fantasy.
And they're second overall with 38 wins.
Wow.
Let me update this. I don't know if this is updated as well. Yep, second overall, 38 wins. Untouchable Jay needs 30 points from the Eagles D tonight to win.
I need 30 points from the Eagles D. I don't think so. My three top 10 RBs shit the bed. I mean, there's lots of that happened lots. Chubb got hurt. That hurt a lot of people. I know that much. Probably going to beat a Perva in the Boston Bastards League, which is good. You're 10th overall in the contest. That'd be pretty good, Mickey, considering it was a little bit rougher this year, I feel like. Sorry, I was just zipping through fantasy. Had to take a look. You just wait, Jack. Because think about this, Jackson. You have a full you don't have to make waiver claims till Tuesday night, right? So just wait, and then you can put them on IR if that's the case, because you'll know on Tuesday. You might end up dropping him if he's hurt enough, to be honest. I'm not sure how the IR works this year, because, I mean, obviously in the old days, you got put on IR that your season was over, right? But now everyone has a short-term IR. I'm worried about this season as a whole, though. Like, it's kind of concerning because they said that somebody, I don't know if they're false positives, but someone on the Lions a fullback on the Saints tested positive. We have an issue of a postponed game with Tennessee Pittsburgh, and Kansas City, New England. I mean, I don't know. I hope this doesn't all come apart. Yeah, completely, Jackson. Hamstring is one you can almost always play through. And the one thing I will say, as far as fitness level, Austin Eckler might be the fittest player in the league. That's not even a joke. Look him up. He might be the strongest pound for pound guy. He is a complete monster. So if I were to have confidence into someone to play through injury or to make or come back quicker than others, it would be Eckler. He might be in the best shape of anyone in the NFL, and that's saying something in a league full of super athletes. False positive in the Saints, that's good, Mickey. I don't want this virus stuff. It drives me nuts. I had it, so for me it wasn't bad, but I know for other people it's obviously was a big issue. But it is like, to me, I have almost an ignorant attitude. It's the flu, It's bad. I don't want people to die, but it's you get sick, you get in car accidents, things happen, right? It's just the way she goes. So, don't cough in someone's face, but and take some precaution. But I mean, we got to live our lives here. So I don't know. Some people are passionate about it. That Browns performance today was very satisfying. I mean, Cleveland kind of pulled out all the stops. Is it me and Big Ride were talking before the stream? Landry had I think he has a better pass than a lot of the quarterbacks in the league. It was a laser beam. Mickey Hill's in top condition as well, apparently. It's been about 7-8 years for Big Rye and I last time we were in good condition.
Yeah. That's fair to say.
Yeah. 7-8 years ago, we were in good shape. I was running 15K a day. Now I don't think I could do 15 meters.
That's when I was lifting 220.
What, 220 grams a sandwich?
Yeah, pretty much.
I wasn't even lifting 220 back then. I'm lying. Yeah, Mickey, I think it's safe to say that a lot of people in this contest group aren't in peak physical condition. Holy, Dylan just lighting it up.
He's keeping it light. Yeah, I do. I agree, Jackson.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, Jackson. Like that's just crazy. But I'm down for living your life, but like some precaution, right? Like that's just irresponsible, more or less. I'm back on the ice this week. How'd you do in fantasy? How'd Carol Baskin's Tigers do? Oh, did anyone see Carol Baskins on Dancing with the Stars?
I can't tell if you're serious or joking.
I'm dead serious. It's not even a joke.
What are you looking for in tonight's matchup, Fat Guy?
To be honest, this sounds really lame duck, but I'd like to see a good Eagles performance. You know what I mean? I'd like to see the O-line because it's kind of patched together right now. I'd like to see a better one. I really want to see a 2017 game that has strong running. That's what I want. So it's.
If you see all the floozies the Canadian PM sleeps with, I'm sure he'd want to wear a mask.
Yeah. I haven't seen a good Carson Wentz performance in some time. So, and honestly, that's what I'd like to see. Just not sloppiness from the Eagles.
I'm gonna give
I'm
you an
confident.
even more boring answer than the fat guy, and I want to
Yeah,
see strong offensive line play from the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what I want to see.
that's pretty much what we both said. How boring are we? You know what I mean? But I mean, that is what I want to see. That is. I like power run. That's my favorite type of football. And I know San Francisco can do that, so there's no point in saying I want to see that.
I also want to see the Eagles pull out all the stops on play calling on offense.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like Philly special, that type of stuff. Your your division is still winnable, and this is a game you're a dog in, so you might as well do it. Philly having similar play calling to Cleveland today. How about that? I'd like to see some of that. And Mickey Hill, to touch on what you said, there was a pamphlet given out by the Canadian government for proper and safe use of a glory hole. I'm not even joking. That actually happened. Yeah, and you are supposed to wear a mask during sex and no kissing. That's what our government's up to.
Zaps, you were asking what spreads did we play? Those were all the spreads that we had today.
Right on, Carolina. Right on.
The another little story. I'm always going to harp on this because I feel like my daily life has become trying to talk people out of teasers and out of parlays. But we had the fat guy's mentioned him before, but we have a friend that's really, really strong at handicapping UFC.
I have to interrupt 1 second. He's not really good. He is the best handicapper I have seen at a sport. Just so you guys know, that is serious praise.
So he took an 11 fight parlay yesterday, and he managed to go 10-1. And he just kept messaging us after every single win, telling us how disappointed he was, because he would have cleaned house yesterday if he bet normally, but because
what was the payout?
I don't. It doesn't even matter what the payout was because it was a parlay. Like he would have cleaned house. He would have been up like 9 units, and some of the stuff he hit was like, I think he had one bet that was plus 650 that hit in that parlay.
Yeah.
So it's like you're talking about if he was betting properly, like with proper units and stuff, like he would have been up like 15 units yesterday.
Yeah,
and instead
easily.
he was down 1 or however you want to count it up.
And what's even more concerning is he does this every time. He'll get 3 parlay tickets and he'll go like 5-1 at least on one of them. And then he'll hit 1 parlay all year, you know? Can you believe? I couldn't even believe that when I was looking through the messages last night, Big Rye.
Well, it's unfortunate. It's shitty that it takes experiences like that to really learn, like hopefully learn your lesson.
But that's happened to him, what, like 15 times?
Yeah. He has won before, but for all the bets he's made over time, he would have made a lot more.
He would have made serious dough. Let's put it that way. I haven't seen the Eagles in a white jersey this season from what I recall. Maybe they did against the Rams.
3rd and 8, the pocket collapses on the Eagles. Wentz gets happy feet, and he throws it at Sanders' feet at the check down. Not a good first 3rd and long from Wentz.
Bad start from from the Eagles. This is going to be a tough game. They'd mentioned that earlier in the broadcast. I'm sure everyone heard that the starting left tackle has played 20 snaps. It's just going to be a long night for him. That's why O-line play is kind of key to Big Ryan and I from the Eagles.
Jackson Littlewood said, "If you have a 2 meter schlong, social distancing isn't an issue for sex."
In theory, no.
Let's go Birds. The Littlewood would know that. Nice, fellas. I killed it in UFC last night. Nice, Untouchable Jay. Any specific fights that you did well on? Dylan, I feel like you really want to know if my last name is deceiving or not. 3 and out. Wow, Dougie. That's how I feel, Untouchable. Heyo said, my first ever parlay hit, and I've stayed away from parlays because I had a heart attack and 2 midlife crises during the last game. That sounds about right. Could a losing record win the NFC East? Definitely. It could happen.
Nick Foles still getting some tonight. Yeah.
With the new playoff format, I really have to like sit down and look at playoff odds stuff. It's kind of thrown.
Well, they're not
going
to get. No one in that division is going to get a wild card, Big Rye. But the division winner, I can almost assuredly say, is going to be like 7 wins. It really is, because Giants are winless. 1 win for Washington, 1 win for Dallas.
No wins for the Eagles.
The Eagles have a tie. I mean, this is week 4. It's most assuredly going to be a 6 or 7 win team. Which, how many times has that happened? I think once for sure. Seattle finished 7-1 or 7-8, and they made the playoffs. Of course, beating New Orleans in the first round in a huge upset. I don't recall another team doing that since.
The Felipe win was really nice, Untouchable Jay. Because Felipe, for me, I got him at plus 185, so that was a nice. I was going to add on to something you said, but I forgot what we were talking about.
Division winner.
Oh, yeah. I still think that the Cowboys finish with 8 or more wins, but I don't have their schedule in front of me. I'm not exactly sure who they still have to play, but like in those division, I still think Dallas is a lot better than the other 3 teams in that division.
Oh, so I completely agree.
They would have to go probably 3-3 in the division for it to finish at 7 wins or less.
Yeah, definitely think Dallas has the best roster. That doesn't mean it's going to translate.
Let me just pull up Dallas's. I want to see who they play because they've given up more than 38 points in the last 3 games. So they played the Rams and lost by 3. They played the Falcons and somehow came away with a win at the end and gave up 39. They played the Seahawks and gave up 38, and they played the Browns and gave up 49. So next week they play the Giants, and it's safe to say that the Cowboys are going to be pretty big favorites. Like the Lions,
they could bust off 4 wins in a row here with a reasonable probability between the Giants, Cardinals, Redskins, and the Eagles.
The Cowboys are going to be like 7 to 10 point favorites. The Cardinals game is going to be a close one spread-wise.
3.5, I think.
At Washington, Cowboys will probably be a touchdown favorite.
Yeah, 6.5 maybe.
At the Eagles, Cowboys would probably be, 4.5?
No, I think less than. Depends on the as it stands now. I think 3.5. But maybe less.
I think 4.5.
I think 3.5. But we're arguing over 5%. Steelers, Cowboys. That's tough. Cowboys at Vikings.
That'll probably be a pick'em. Steelers, Cowboys.
I think Steelers minus 1.5. That's my guess.
Cowboys, Vikings is another. I feel like that's going to be a close game. Maybe Cowboys minus 2.5.
I think Vikings -1 by then. That'd be my guess. These are really literally lines though. They got a tough one. Ravens,
They still play the
49ers.
Ravens. They still play the Niners. But every other game is a coin flip or favored. What do you say? Ravens would probably be what, 6-point favorites?
I think 7.5 the way things are.
Um, if they play the Niners with Garoppolo, I'd say Niners by 3. What do you think it would be, Dylan, if it's not a pick 'em?
I like Steelers -1.5. Why would you throw that far behind the line of scrimmage?
I think the Cowboys are really good offensive. Well, I think they're one of the better offensive teams in the league. And I think just because of the consistency that they can get on offense that they'll win some games. But they need to give up less points on defense. They need to just get stops. Like the Browns just ran the ball all game and won.
It's the best way to win. I think I'm going to get my wish with this game. I think I said 2017. I might be cruising to that.
Phillip Rivers trash talking today on the field. I was so surprised when I found out that Rivers never swears, because he might be like the most trash talking white guy I've ever seen in sports.
Well, Larry Bird.
Well, Larry Bird's famous for his trash talk, but I've never seen somebody trash talk as much as Rivers has. Like for a position that is usually not meant to trash talk, or doesn't, at least it's not visually shown to us viewers who watch the games at home. 3rd and 3 for the Eagles after San Fran jumped early. 5 wide for Philly. It's looking like man coverage.
I really don't like this.
They pick up the first down.
Did he get it? Wow.
The line movement for New England, Kansas City is that game's gone up to 11.5 last I saw.
A lot of books canceled those bets, which is kind of nice. Rivers is a weak pullout game. I mean, yes, Mickey. The only guy with more kids in the NFL in NFL history than Phillip Rivers is Antonio Cromartie.
And all his 2-year-olds?
The new one. We're getting cooking. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but they've Wentz is a little weary of the left side, and I don't blame him. So that was a bootleg pretty much away from the inexperienced tackle.
They even looked like an interception after the tip ball. Linebacker number 51 on San Fran with the interception.
Is that Warner?
I think Warner's 54. I think that might be Alexander. And that's a
Juan
catch.
Alexander?
No, it's Al something. Al Shabir, something like that. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I don't know. I have no idea. The ball hit the ground, but it looked like he had control, so I don't know what that means.
At Pinnacle, New England's +10. 34% of bets are on the Pats. 60% of the money. So it might be a 3-unit play on the Patriots tomorrow. Mickey says it should stand. I agree.
I think it should stand, Mickey. Whether it will or not, I'm just unsure. As I take your hand and lead you to the dance floor. No George Michael fans? All right, whatever. These guys don't like George Michael. Boo.
I love George Michael.
That was a Saxman reference.
Oh yeah, that's it. Vono. We've got Eagles plus 8.5. This line opened at 3, and I'm not sure where that opening line came from or how early it was, but it got up to 9.5, and then Sharps bet it down to 8.5. It might have gone down to 8 just before kickoff.
Some of the big rise, some of those lines that are posted that are early are they might be boost lines from DraftKings. DraftKings offers these really funny lines. DraftKings New Jersey. I have a friend who lives in the in New Jersey, just pretty close to Philadelphia, and he shows me all these boost lines where you get like on a standard spread pick, you get plus 150 up to a max bet of $50, and he pretty much takes all of them. And oddly enough, isn't up as much as he should be, right? But I don't know what DraftKings is doing, but it's different. Let's put it that way. So that's why there might be some wonky openers. We've tried not to use them as lines for what we've been doing too. So you took the money line, buddy. Jay is from Philly, but this guy loves to gamble.
320 is good value for the money line.
Yeah. Well, standard 320 is actually great because what standard for 7 is 230. So yeah, you got that. Actually, is I'd actually now that I see that number, I'd rather 320 than 8.5. Contest it was 6.5. Zit Vono. So we're hoping for a middle. We took a good. I waffled on that pick actually before production for quite some time, and I could have got Philly 7 or San Francisco 6.5, and I knew the line would move against 6.5, so I took San Fran in the contest. That is.
It's another reason why price is so important.
Because let's be honest, and I think I even said in the video, there was a good chance at a middling play because if you got San Fran at 6.5 and Philly plus 8.5, I don't mind your chances. I really don't. The push frequency on a combination of 7 and 8 would outweigh the juice that you would pay on a winning one winning bet. So, and it's in all honesty, what makes it even more valuable is it's a lower bankroll variance play because you're due to lose 1/11th of a unit or to make 1.91 units. You see what I mean?
Sack for Philly. It's going to be 3rd down for San Fran.
Is that Derek Barnett? Another first-round pick.
I'm always impressed when quarterbacks can hold on to the ball.
He bull rushed Trent Williams. Trent Williams looks a little portly right now, though. I got to be honest. That year off probably was spent at the buffet.
McKinnon almost gets it done on 3rd and long.
You know what's so unfortunate, man? Injuries have robbed this man of a career. I was huge. I was a big Jerry McKinnon fan, even though that sounds crazy when he was on Minnesota. I liked him more than AP. But when I got really excited when he came to San Francisco, and because I think they were in the same party I was about how versatile he is as a player. And 2 years of knee injuries, realistically, and this is the first real San Fran look we've gotten. And at such a high salary, they still kept him around. So I think he took a pay cut, but still. Sivono, it's like buy low, sell high in the stock market. Absolutely, it's just so it's my favorite play is a middling play. They're just so rare. It's so hard to hit one, right? So, and then I've been getting into push frequencies as of late because I'm slowly writing that book still. So things like that are still on the radar, and it's interesting. It's interesting because middling plays on key numbers are the most important, right? And so it is possible more because there's been a lot of line movements this year. So I mean, if you get one that hovers over 3, hovers over 7, like this game is a 7-8 one, you might have been able to do it with the Chargers as well. The Chargers Bucks.
I think Mickey's Chargers team doctor at spot 22 at the moment.
Oh, you know what's funny about the Chargers doctor incident with Tyrod Taylor? This isn't the first time they've had serious issues in that area. That's a cheap franchise. Very cheap. I like how the only Greek-owned football team is the cheapest one. I'm Greek. I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to rip on them. Just it's a bad look. Whereas the Capitals owner is awesome. I love that guy, Ted Leonidas. Okay, there's an article. The Charger from Deadspin. Obviously it's subjective, and it's from Deadspin. But the headline is, this is from 2013. The Chargers doctor is a drunk quack. Why haven't they fired him? So this goes back a long way.
I don't know what to think of Detroit. Well, I know what to think of Detroit. I'm surprised that they can get out to like 14-0 leads and then just look terrible for the rest of the game.
They have bad coaching. They have poor play calling. They have everything. They're Detroit. You can knock Detroit all you want for everything, but name me a good head coach and Jim Caldwell you can say was okay. I will agree with that, but name me a good head coach they've had last 20 years. Jim Schwartz, a good coordinator. I don't know if he's a good head coach. Rod Marinelli, good defensive line coach. Don't know if he's a good head coach. There's just so much to it. Matt Patricia, bad. Very bad, you could even say. Jackson, for Stafford's, I don't think he will, but for Stafford's sake, I hope he does. Yeah, exactly. Stafford does deserve better. And Mickey will agree with me. He's one of the most underrated players in the league. And he's just been hampered by garbage teams and garbage coaching for so many years. Because believe it or not, if he had a good coach, his win rate would be like 25% better.
Untouchable, Jay. I couldn't see where you were. A 59 you saw.
Oh. That looked questionable. There it is. There's the flag. Mickey, I've been under, then scoring notifications are blowing up my phone. Yeah, I'm starting to agree with your near conspiracy theory about lack of flags. I mean, there's documentation that that's true. Is that really it? I thought honestly NFL scoring is going to be way down, considering lack of preseason. It's gone everything up. So my theory's out the window, I guess. But I mean, it's small sample, you know. But so small sample can also be an excuse for losing some of the time. I don't know, man. Yeah, it is. It is. Fortuitous PI for the Eagles.
Not a good throw from Wentz, who had a wide open receiver but aired it out and let the safety come over and get a hand on that play.
When's the last game Carson Wentz had that was a strong performance? If anyone can fill me in the comments section, I'd appreciate it because I don't remember.
Sanders
Nice
almost biffs it on that sandpaper on the sidelines or whatever it is.
Sandpaper, Big Rye. Dude, that's more like a slip and slide.
He almost buffed it on the linoleum.
Why do they have that? I know me and Big Rye argue really crap on it every week. It's dangerous. And it's kind of like when Jonathan Abram ran into the that camera thing, and what was that, week 1, Big Rye, or week 2?
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable, man.
I like when they said they're going to check on it.
Yeah.
Like anything's going to change.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is interesting. I want to see what this flag is.
Also, I want to know, even at this time, how it's so necessary to have like 300 people on the sidelines for every game.
Yeah. No, that looked like a face mask too. You know what? You know what is going to happen? It's the same thing in hockey when they used to like hustle for icing, and then one guy gets like paralyzed, and then everything changes. I don't know why it has to take for someone to get seriously life-changing injured or worse for them to make any changes for that type of thing.
Well, especially when they've made so many changes on plays like kickoffs and just other things inside of the game, like different things to protect quarterbacks.
They took big hits out. You
Yeah.
can't charge a guy and hit him shoulder to shoulder anymore. They'll throw a 15-yard flag. You won't get fined, but you know what I mean? If that's too dangerous.
But you can go headfirst into a crane that holds up Booger McFarland's fingers and
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, the Eagles are kind of driving. It's not winning pretty here, but it's going.
that was a good play from Wentz.
No, I didn't. Abrams is my favorite player these days, Jackson, but I wasn't on that game when that happened. Great play.
Not seeing 300 people under the basket in NBA games in the bubble. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't get over how annoying this fake crowd noise is. Yeah, I don't have any noise on for this game, so I can't hear it, but I'm not a fan of the fake crowd noise either, especially when it sounds so artificial. So 1st and 10 from San Francisco's 11. Philly knocking at the door.
96.
Wentz with an audible.
Is that Dion Jordan?
Wentz with a keeper, and he's going to get this touchdown. I know how annoying it is. Mickey kept making fake noises as well.
Well,
Dylan
that's a good
just
start for the
chiming
Eagles.
in. I've kind of made it a habit of having the live lineup, so I'll pull it up again and we'll see where these lines go to.
Mickey's going to need some grief counseling after all this. Okay, a 2-point attempt.
2-point conversion on the way. Ertz with the 2-point conversion. Good play for Mickey. Did they throw the flag there? Because that definitely looked like a pick play.
Oh, it's good, Big Rye. And that's Dylan for fantasy purposes. That's 2 points, pal. That's 2 points. And not only that, Dylan, you're up against Jake Elliott. So you just took 1 point off the table of Jake Elliott and added it to Ertz. That's big there. It's a 3-point swing, pal. I think we've converted Mickey and Dylan. They've become fantasy monsters now.
Yeah.
Although, I'm sure everyone's been offered trades by Dylan. He offered me 3 ridiculous trades earlier this week.
The live line for the game is now San Fran -2.5. With -118. So really San Fran -3 is the live line.
I kind of like Philly if that's what it is. Great strategy, Dylan. Okay, so Big Rye, we were asked what we wanted in the game. I think we're getting it. It's been that touchdown was reasonable going for the first down from Carson Wentz. They went for 2. That's something.
You know what I don't get right now in the NFL is that there's certain teams like the Giants, and we're seeing it from the Eagles, that are using more quarterback runs. And it's like, I can't tell if it's just desperation or if teams just don't prepare for quarterbacks to keep the ball. But like Wentz had big plays there. Daniel Jones is second in the league just behind Lamar Jackson. Well, those are the only 2 players in the league that are non-running backs that lead their team in rushing. And it's definitely what I said before the game as far as I want to see the Eagles spice it up on offense with calls, and they got it done there.
Well, I can convince you not to make live bets with one ideology. In-game betting is an emotional proposition, and emotional propositions are generally losing ones. Yeah, there you go. Jackson has a better argument than I do. You lay in 118. What are you doing?
Yeah, when I said that, Jackson, it was -118. Now it's -108 on both sides. So people like the Eagles at +2.5 at even. But that's the problem, is that you can bet them before the game at -105, or you can bet them live at -108. So you're losing a couple percentage points betting anything live that you wouldn't have, that you would be on the better side of if you bet it before the game. That tells you everything you have to know about Giants offense under the clapper. Yeah, exactly. But it's I'm surprised more teams don't let their quarterbacks keep the ball and run with it, because Daniel Jones isn't exactly a threatening runner.
He's okay. He's not Kyler Murray, though. Cam Newton had a lot of design runs though for New England. Fat guy offered me McKinnon for Nick Foles. What a stupid trade. Well, in actuality, Dylan offered me Nick Foles for McKinnon. George was kind of lumbering on that dump off, design pass play. Wouldn't call it a dump off.
Adam, you're probably right. I probably just don't have that much respect for Daniel Jones getting it done on the ground.
I don't like this version of the Giants. Yeah, that might be true. I'm trying to come up with another one.
We got a reverse to Deebo Samuel. Newton.
Oh, this is going to be trouble if Deebo Samuel is going to take Brandon Ayuk's looks for me. Big Rise, your stream messing up? Mine is.
The stream of the game?
Yeah.
No, my stream's good.
Well, it's good now.
Little reverse to Kittle.
Dude, they look serious now. These are some pretty strong plays. Kyler's a decent fantasy player. I got Drake for sale. I don't know if you're in my league, Jay, but I'm in both leagues. What are you talking about? I'll take a look.
That play was blown up by number 96, Derek Barnett, taking advantage of Trent Williams. Allen High School in Texas.
Probably Mickey, my guess is it's probably a nicer stadium than anywhere in Canada.
It's a $60 million stadium.
So, yeah, I'm correct.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah.
I missed it. The stream cut out.
Well, you're definitely going to want to see the replay.
I've been big on him. I got him on pretty much every fantasy team, so
I kept waiting for him to make a cutback, and he did this instead.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
And somehow 40 yards down the field, Derek Barnett was almost the guy who made the tackle.
Is he the best player on the Eagles right now?
Barnett?
Yeah.
From watching these two plays, yes. It wouldn't be fair for me to say who the best player on the Eagles is. I haven't watched enough. Darius Slay got injured on that play as well.
Sorry, I'm looking at this stadium and it's ridiculous. Okay, I understand why Allen High School has a $60 million stadium. Since 2012, they're 47-0. I mean, yeah, okay, I get it now. That's unbelievable.
I wonder who's
CK,
played on their team.
there's a technical question in the comments there, Big Rye.
How come your site hates me? Didn't take my week 1 picks. Don't think week 3s went in and don't look like week 4s are in. CKFPV. I'll send you our email address.
It's a Google form, PK, and it should, every time you fill it out, you should get a confirmation email afterwards. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
It's also based off of the email address you put in, so you might have put in different email addresses. So just send me an email. I'll look into it. Let me know what your email address is.
Jay offered me Drake for Fournette and Jones Jr. Yeah, that's not that bad. Shady, how's everyone doing? Fantastic. This has been a fun game so far.
It could be untouchable. Oh, Detroit one time's got Ayuk starting as well. Jay offered me Drake for Fournette and Jones Jr. What's going on, Shady? I think they're get like 30K in attendance. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Stop lying, dildo. That was kind of a dirty play, hurting Slay's knee. I'm not. Check your fantasy. You must have sent it by accident.
Yeah, Corey, that's the thing. That Washington is a interesting team. I actually think they're going to be pretty good here. Ownership is kind of a joke, but I think because realistically, the task of ownership should be just putting in a good coach and general manager and then leaving it as it be. And I think Daniel Snyder's probably figuring that out now. Obviously, 20 years too late. But I think they're a team on the rise, the Washington football team, because they don't have a quarterback. Offensive line isn't good anymore, but the front seven is one of the best in the league, you know. And so, you know, not like Chase Young's going to hurt that either, right? Nice, Corey. It's great. It's absolutely great. Yeah, I mentioned in the video to wait because the line was 13.5. I mentioned to wait till 14.5. Why don't they start Alex Smith? Jackson. It has to be still a medical issue because Alex Smith is one of the most underrated players since I've been watching. So I'm gonna say 20 years. His cover rate is ridiculous. Like every game that he's a dog, it's pretty much a 58% chance he's going to cover, to be honest. So, I mean, obviously I'm pulling these numbers out of my head, but it's just for Big Ryan. I know it's been very, very good. So if it's not a medical issue, then there's no reason not to start him.
So CK, we only put in the picks if you make them before the game. You can't make your picks. Like I got your picks here at 5:55 p.m., which was 10 minutes ago. You can't get in the contest unless you make the picks before the games. Touchable J said, have fun with Fournette. Corey said, Haskins had 300 yards, but he checked it down on a 4th and goal at the 11. Yeah, I remember that, Corey. That was crazy. I couldn't believe that. Do you guys bet college football? We do not, Max. Sometimes for like the bowl games, I'll look into betting and just use the betting percentages. Otherwise, we're not betting that much college.
Mickey, UGA, you mean the Bulldogs? So they were contrarian home conference favorite, very rare. I mean, if you can. Oh, Alex Smith reeks efficient. He's a cover machine. Absolutely. It's because every time they cover, it's not an impressive cover. So squares don't get mesmerized by Alex Smith. But when I see it, I'm like, wow, that's a guy who doesn't throw any interceptions, and he lets his defense, uh, play defense. He takes time off the clock. He's one of my dream players, to be honest. Yeah, and honestly, Jackson, they would have won the division in my opinion before that leg injury. Yeah, I don't. The odds boot. That's so many. That juice sucks though, Corey. That's the only thing I don't like about it. So I'm glad you covered though. Let's be real here. There's nothing. There's nothing like a backdoor cover that I don't love. Because the whole philosophical idea behind covering, like no one cares how they win. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you're losing, you're always trying to come back in the game. So there's two ways to make a cover. There's only one way to cover the spread when you're winning, right? Like you just happen to win by that much.
I just put in that CK guy's picks for the week, and somehow he went 11-0.
Yeah. So I mean, CK is upset that he didn't get his picks in, or we didn't accept his picks after when he picked after the game. That's convenient.
Wentz gets hit as he throws, so it's going to be 4th and 8.
I completely agree, Jackson. It's and Big Rye and I, this whole channel was hinged on one bet. We bet pretty much half our bankroll our first year on the Chiefs to go over 7.5 wins. That was about 10 years ago. It was the first year of Alex Smith and Andy Reid, and then they busted off 9 in a row. And it kind of, I don't know. It said we did a lot of homework. We were doing a lot of handicapping. Cardinals so disappointing. My one loss of the week. I really like Carolina, Corey, to be honest. 11-0 will win you a shirt. CK, I put those in to see why they weren't going in. Well, that's the thing. If you put them in after the game, they're not going to count. It's as simple as that. Not fair to everyone else. It's not even a contest, really. That was a nice pickup by the DB there.
Eagles O-line blows. So does Mickey. Nice bet because I think they were 2-14 the year before, low expectations.
Yeah, that was exactly why we did it, because I used to handicap a lot more back then. I had the Chiefs as the best defense in the league, and then I couldn't figure out why it was so low. And then I looked, on average, the 2-14 year with Matt Castle, they'd spent 39 minutes on the field on average. There's no defense that is good when they're tired. I can't believe George Kittle just got this first down. That is unbelievable. He's going to get a flag here maybe too. That is unbelievable. But yeah, Jackson, that's the power of possession, because they flipped it. They went to about 35 minutes per game on offense as opposed to, 21 the year before. Defense changed very little, but that's the power of possession, time of possession.
Yeah, Teddy and Alex Smith do have a lot of similarities when it comes to playing. Very efficient.
You've heard Big Ryan and I shill for Teddy Bridgewater. We love him. We think he's great. Teddy Bridgewater is a winner, too. Look at him against the spread. How about that?
Teddy played really well today.
Well, he's a good player. He's underrated, too.
Looked like an inexperienced play from Ayuk. It looked like he was asked to block there, but when the play broke down, they tried to dump it off to him.
Yeah, like Mickey last year. Think about it. Teddy he went 4-0 with the 4-0 with the Saints last year, and I believe they covered every game. So that'll put it. It's because it's not flashy. Nice sack here from the Eagles. They drafted Eric Fisher that year, which improved the O-line, which helps the run game, which improves time of possession. Exactly. It all streamlines downwards. Absolutely. And not that Eric Fisher had a great year. Not that Eric Fisher's even been a great player. He's been, I'd say, above average, and that's enough. You know, I love that Chiefs team. Me and Big Ride. It was really big for us that having success. I think that was the year that Justin Houston got 20 sacks too, or 19 and a half, whatever.
That was a nice series from the Eagles D outside of that non-Kittle tackle.
Yeah. I'm curious as to why Sanford didn't go for it after the Ayuk touchdown. Anyone see the Browns blocked Pat attempt turn into a... Sorry, what kind of punt was this? Oh, my. Is that the luckiest bounce we've seen this year? I'm going to say yes. Actually, aside from the Browns blocked Pat.
That was something. I didn't even know what the rule was. I wasn't sure what was going to happen on that play.
Big Rye, I think it's because somebody touched it.
Yeah, the Dallas player touched the ball, which means it's live. Yeah. And the Browns can recover it wherever that ball lands. So if they picked it up, they couldn't have actually ran it in for 2 points. So if they picked it up at the 1, it would have been 0 points. But because the ball rolled into the end zone and that's where it was recovered by the Browns, they ended up getting the 2-point conversion.
Wasn't Jamal Charles hurt in 2012? I don't think it was that year. I think he had a crazy year. He had a better year than the next year, actually. Jamal Charles is the best fantasy player in my lifetime. I can say that confidently.
Better than LaDainian Tomlinson?
I said there's no way he was better than Tomlinson. Yeah, well, my fantasy career, let's call it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would have been if you're gonna go all time.
That's gives me some clarity.
Well, if you're gonna go all time, it's LaDainian Tomlinson and Jim Brown. Jim Brown would have broken the guy was rushing for like $170 every game. His career average is over 100. Yeah, that draft wasn't good. They knew it wasn't going to be good either. Like I remember watching it live, I think I bet on that draft and did well.
So in 2012, the Chiefs went 2-14. In 2013, they went 11-5, and Charles played 15 games and started 15 games. So he probably just sat out the last game.
Yeah, because they had already made the playoffs and won the division. Or no, Denver won the division, didn't they?
Somebody else won the division. Let me just check who it was. Yeah, Broncos went 13-3.
Yeah, and then the
Broncos put up 606 points that year.
Yeah, and the Chiefs got super unlucky against Indianapolis in the wild card weekend.
The Broncos averaged 38 points a game.
I don't even know. How could you do that? Mind you, Dallas is doing it right now.
I was just looking back at the 2013 draft, and I'd say it was pretty lackluster. The Chiefs had a lot of solid guys, especially on defense. Hallie, Derek Johnson, the always underrated Brandon Flowers as well. Charles was hurt in 2011. I think they were talking about how bad the draft sucked last week. We can't forget who the backup quarterback was for those Chiefs too. Kansas City was up huge.
Yeah, in that game, the game against Indy. Yeah, I had Kansas City. It was upsetting. Charles got hurt in that game, and they hurt all their running backs, and I think they were running like a tight end at running back, and they couldn't close the game out. It was upsetting.
The 4-game pick 6 streak, I remember that. That was something else. I remember like waiver wires, it was just a competition to see who could pick up the defense playing against Schaub that week.
Yeah. We actually had the Texans really high, and we were shocked that they were only 3-point favorites over the Chargers in week 1 of that year. And then I think that was one of their only wins was week 1, which they won in like overtime by 3.
Play action from the Eagles to a screen for Ertz.
Padding Dylan's stats.
That 2013 Kansas City team is a 6-star excitement just for the backup quarterback, Big Rye. Is it the cutest?
It is. Yeah, Tyler Bray.
Don't call me Daniels, Chase Daniel.
Yeah. I forgot he was on. I thought he was on New Orleans during that season, but yeah, he was on KC.
Yeah. 2010 to 2012 with the Saints, then 2013 to 2015 with the Chiefs, Philly, New Orleans, Chicago. 6-star entertainment. 6-star excitement.
Excitement. That's such a better word, eh?
Yeah.
Corey Andy's on fire. It's pretty funny.
Oh, they brought in Jalen Hurts for that snap.
I don't blame him.
Oh, they had Wentz on the outside blocking Johnson. That was interesting.
It worked. It looked kind of like a hold me back bro type, but yeah, they were in discussion. Go ahead.
Yeah, they were in discussion for the Super Bowl that year. In hindsight, they should have realized how terrible that secondary was. Quarterback troubles hurt, but Keenum was decent. Should have lost 14. Shouldn't have lost.
No. I thought that team was way better than they played. Who got fired at the end of that year? Oh, and that was a Clowney pick the next year. Was it Romeo Crennel who got fired?
I can't remember.
No.
Mickey Hill catching up with the Matt Schaub stuff. Big Rye, was I wrong with the Jets and Broncos being a 5-star entertainment game? I can't even remember how that game went now.
I don't think so. It was entertaining for the wrong reasons, but entertaining nonetheless.
Oh, Dylan's got power rankings up. Saints, Chiefs,
Kubiak,
Ravens,
yes.
Bills, Bucks, Seahawks, Packers, Titans, Vikings, Rams. Still got the Vikings up there. Kubiak got fired.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Philly jumps here. So it's going to push him back to 3rd and 6.
Crennel became DC.
Greg Williams went back to headhunting on Thursday night. I thought that was interesting. Kubiak is an underrated coach.
He's one of those guys, like coaching is so in the NFL is so stressful. And like he passed out as head of the coach for the Broncos twice. So I mean like on the field. I don't know. It's Bruce Arians said he had health problems from it. I don't know. It seems to take a toll on those guys. It's a lot. It's actually a huge undertaking.
San Fran in man press coverage. The pass rush gets there. Wentz just chucks it up, manages to get it out of bounds. That San Fran sideline's probably yelling for intentional grounding, But it looked like he got the ball back to line of scrimmage. I don't know if he was out of the pocket, though. But there was a receiver right there, so.
Another first-round pick, Eric Armstead, making an impact on that play. Armstead's one of the tallest guys in the league. I think he's 6'8". But all this could have... That false start penalty kills that whole drive, though. Oh, and then that's not as good of a bounce as what San Fran got with Washingowski or whatever their punter.
Yeah, there was it was funny, Corey, because at the start of the game they had, I think, 2 or 3 penalties, like the personal foul penalties, and it made me, the whole time I was thinking about Greg Williams. But at the end of the game, they made it pretty damn obvious that they were trying to just do as much damage as they could.
Yeah, that's interesting. Vikes instead of Colts for Dylan Toddfield. I'm not a believer in the Bucks yet. I think that's too high. My opinion. This list actually isn't that bad. Bucks and Vikings are the ones that don't belong in there. That's the only ones I think.
And I don't know if I could have the Saints as the top team.
Well, clearly, but I mean, I'm not gonna point out the obvious with Dylan Toddfield.
Oh, I like this. Yeah. Liam Neeson's trying out a new role as like an action guy.
Oh, is he gonna save somebody or
probably one
get
of his
revenge?
Daughters.
Is he gonna serve a dish best served cold?
Greg Williams called the kill shot play from the longest yard. You think the Titans are gonna regress?
That's pretty reasonable. I don't know. There's so many guys out, like, because with 52 week it, Mickey, it's 15 players have it. What do they do next week? You know.
Greg Williams currently has a blitz the league mentality. His office has cigarette butts all over Butts' office and has a dim light bulb string and has a vodka bottle on his desk. I thought it was interesting too at the end of the game. The coach from the other team didn't shake hands.
Nor should he. Vic Fangio, I don't blame him. That was dirty pool.
Pats are sitting outside the top 10. I would put the Niners before Pats, but 8 Patriots opted out, so it's hard to have them in there. Greg Williams has a bag of rings he puts on to punch anyone in the face who disagrees with his headhunting ways. They must have made a field trip to a strip club.
I would imagine. The multiple lap dances. Jackson Littlewood, Dylan the Pat should be in there. When they have Newton, definitely over Vikes and Bucks. I completely agree. I think the Pats are a really good team. And it's so weird that it's fun to actually get to bet the Patriots. You know what I mean? I haven't in years because it's so overinflated. Not that hasn't hurt me. Don't get me wrong. I've lost money betting against the Patriots for 10 years now. Okay? But actually longer than that. Oh, God. 13 years of gambling. The Pats have cost me, I don't even know how much money. The Rams Super Bowl, that one hurt too.
Greg Williams has a future career as a backroom bouncer in Vegas.
Yeah. No. He'll be a waterboarder at Guantanamo. That was rad.
Did you see Trent Williams faked a block?
Yeah. That was awesome.
Corey hates Greg Williams like Rick Dalton hates hippies.
Mickey Hill, of course, referencing the latest Tarantino flick.
Motion from San Fran, a handoff to McKinnon.
It's
Excellent
close,
play
Dylan.
by the linebacker Edwards.
It's close, Dylan. I don't think. I don't know. I just don't think they're in there. Those Saints defenses with Greg Williams were. Whew. I'm getting the game I wanted. I think I'm getting my wish.
Nice cutback from McKinnon to pick up an extra few yards. I'll let the fat guy say that one. That's a good way of putting it, Mickey's. Probably a little bit more traditional.
And Tarantine by Written Directino. He's a good coach, born in the wrong era. Yeah. I think too much violence has been zapped out of football, to be honest. What a play.
Big catch by Kittle. What if the players know the history of Greg Williams and they want him fired, so they just did it?
That's interesting. I think you're thinking too deep on that one there, Big Rye, but that's interesting thought. You know what, guys, I really miss from football? Remember when it's not even that long ago, 10 years ago, the Ravens and the Steelers used to play? Yeah, Billy B isn't far. I would agree with that. But you guys remember those Steelers? Oh, wow.
Where the line was always 3, no matter who was playing who and where?
No, it was at home. Whoever's at home was 3-point favorites. They were brutal, vicious, rough affairs. And those are the best games of the year. And it would happen 3 times a year. They'd play twice in the division and once in the playoffs. And it was awesome.
You could throw the Bengals in on that too. It was really all 3 of those teams.
The Bengals only came around probably like 6-7 years ago, but there's a few year gap. But yes, Bengals were violent team too.
Who was the linebacker that they had? The guy that was on Oakland last year? Yeah,
Vontez.
Perfect.
That was a gimme pick, and that's 2 points for Untouchable J. Coriandi pulling.
Eagles need a turnover in the worst way, and as Untouchable J calls for it, he gets it.
He gets it. The Coriandi.
That McGahee hit was crazy. I forgot about that.
That's what I was going to get to. That was the worst. I thought he was dead. Who was it? Ryan Clark? I'm almost certain it was Ryan Clark. But I get that it's bad. But that, if anyone's looking out against a Willis McGahee, Ryan Clark hit from about 10 years ago, it's probably the biggest hit in modern football that I can think of. And I get that it's bad, but man, it's just something it gets a testosterone out of you. You know what I mean? Like, you live for moments like that. It's just 2 guys laying it out on the field, and I don't know. That's the one thing. I'm not trying to throw a ton of water down on the current NFL, but I miss that stuff. I really do.
I just saw that Coriandi said that Greg Williams sources Adam Gase's coke.
Probably. They're in New York. How hard can it be?
Ed Reed and Hines Ward. The Bengals
Hines Ward is famous for blocks, and he's a wide receiver. Or for hits, yeah. That were blocks, crackbacks. Can't even do them anymore.
The Bengals as well. I remember Keith Rivers' rookie year. Hines Ward crackback block and fractured his jaw. Bill O'Brien sucks. He was talking about... Mickey was referring to Bill Belichick.
Belichick, yeah. Belichick, exactly. Bob sucks, yeah. But, Bob's actually average coach. well below average general manager. That's how I'm gonna. That's my opinion. So apparently, Greg Williams is on Interpol's list according to Coriandi. I want to see. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna YouTube that McGahee Ryan Clark hit. God, I miss those days. Those Steeler teams. It was like fun to hate on them. You know what I mean? I preferred the Ravens at the time.
Hines Ward couldn't play in today's NFL. I think he could. It just wouldn't be as devastating.
I think he'd be a good fit on the Niners, to be honest.
Well, he'd have to play like an Edelman type role.
Yeah,
Like he would have to play with like it'd be nice to play with Brady or someone like that who can work the middle of the field, like one of the smaller receivers. But I know what you mean. Like there's players that are better suited for today's game than Hines Ward.
well, a lot of them. I think he'd be a good fit on this Niners team. Blocking ability. Oh my goodness, that hit! Holy. Sorry, I just YouTubed the McGahee Clark hit. It's brutal, and I loved it.
Play action.
Wentz Philly looking to extend their lead.
Dylan's known to get dirty. Belichick made Ted Johnson go through Oklahoma drills to make sure he was recovered from concussions. All right, 1st and 10. It'll be nice to see if the Eagles can keep the ball until the end of the half. They're going to let this. Oh, they do run a play. Wentz completes it over the middle to number 82. I find it interesting how unaware players can be at times, like especially with these like 2-minute scenarios. There was a play earlier where the Raiders ran up to the line of scrimmage to get a playoff before the 2-minute warning, and then Derek Carr ran with the ball, and instead of picking up like 8 or 9 yards, and it would have been 2nd and 1 with the clock stopping for the 2-minute warning, he decided to go backwards and run out of bounds and only picked up maybe 3 or 4 yards and actually took more time off the clock. And it was just another one of those plays where I'm just so surprised by how, like, I don't know if Derek Carr's just super unlucky and these things just happen to him, because like he's obviously been coached to run and get out of bounds, but it was just not the right play to make at that time. Like it's very, very specific, and it's very rare that that's going to happen, but like they ended up not winning that game, and that was a play that definitely could have helped them, at least not force them into that 4th down play to get down by 1 score.
Well, Derek Carr's on the wrong end of a lot of these plays. I can think of so many. Remember with Dallas, the end of half, he's reaching for a touchdown, fumbles. That's not even the only time he did that.
Well, I think the worst one that you and I saw was when he threw it away on 4th down.
Was it the Rams?
I forget who it was against, but I just remember that was like, it's just a soul crusher.
Yeah.
Like if you're a player on that team and your quarterback throws the ball away on 4th down, like you don't even let your guys try to make a play on the ball. It's just hard to see.
It's demoralizing.
Corey Gree said, yeah, that 3rd and goal was questionable as well. Derek Carr ran backwards instead of running it forwards. Yeah, he's had 2 diving touchbacks, Heyo. Peterman is a long-term quarterback. Gruden is building Peterman. It's a possibility.
Nathan Peterman,
Meme. Peter Meme, as Jackson calls him. I actually think Peterman could be okay. I know he hasn't had a great start to his career,
Well, he had the worst opening game ever.
But I feel like he had more than just that one. Like it
Well,
was
that one was a standout one. It was a statement. It was a statement game for Nathan Peterman.
a high snap.
I can't believe he got that.
Wentz falls on it, but it's going to be second and forever. The clock's winding down. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts. I'm surprised San Fran hasn't taken one. You expect better from Kelsey.
It's a rare misstep for him.
That ball actually hit Wentz in the face mask, so I'm going to put this off of Kelsey and say that Wentz needs to make that catch. So San Fran does take that timeout a little bit later than I thought they would, but they do take it. Second and 27 for the Eagles. I think it just caught Shanahan off guard.
I mean, how could it not, really, right?
Corey said, similar to Haskins' play today, they were down, 18? Why not kick the field goal if you're just going to check it down? Yeah, it was just complete lack of awareness, and that's a really good example. It's these plays that just make you scratch your head. Like, what's the point? Like, you're doing it just to get reps, and I don't know why your reps are checking it down on a... Looks like we're going to get another timeout from San Fran after this sack. Belichick double team Carr's check down options last week. F'd him all up. Yeah, Carr's got to let that ball fly. It's funny, too, because Carr actually has some of the better touch on those balls, so it's too bad he wasn't a little bit quicker at making those decisions and getting the ball down the field. I'm serious, I'm a Bills fan, but he has talent. I see the same thing in Peterman. Big Rye, I'm not sure he can be okay, but if he ever starts again, he'll be underrated. Boys, find you a woman who loves you like Carr loves checkdowns. Peterman had no weapons to throw to either. As I say, bet Eagles, what the fuck. Except for you, Dylan, of course. Fat Guy, Panthers are plus 3.5 versus the Falcons. Ravens at 13.5. Eagles O-line blows, right, Mickey? This Eagles O-line is like one of Dylan's boyfriends.
What, revolving?
Yeah. Imaginary. I want to know what Dylan does on days where we don't have streams. The Cardinals are on the road and giving the Jets 8 points. They lost to the Lions and the Panthers, and today the Cardinals look lifeless. Murray had 45 yards passing in the first half. I think the Cardinals look bad, and the Jets, it's like sneaky that they didn't look that bad. I think that's a game where we just have to take the Jets. At this point, like, who even wants to bet the Jets ever?
That's why, like, how big it was kind of like it's not as bad. The Jags, remember the old Jags Big Rye where the spreads were in the 20s sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of miss those, though.
Well, if scoring is as high as it is, I think we might see them.
It's possible. Did the Jets play anyone that can... did the Jets play the Chiefs?
Third and 34. Jalen Hurts in the game. And quarterback draw.
Ooh, that was almost a penalty.
If they went to like a wild card or wildcat offense in the second half with Hurts, I think San Fran would actually have problems with it.
You know what's interesting about that is you would ruin so much preparation.
Yeah. Look at all these guys missing. Garoppolo, Mostert, Tevin Coleman, Nick Bosa, D Ford, Solomon Thomas, Dre Greenlaw, Richard Sherman, Emmanuel Mosley, and Kilo Weatherspoon.
Kilo Weatherspoon. Like,
Mickey says they're tanking for Trevor. Do not bet on the Jets. Darnold going to Colts and winning Super Bowl. It'd be interesting to see Darnold with just different coaching at this point. And I think Darnold might need to redshirt a year or two. Which is crazy to say.
Move on.
It's crazy to say that.
You just move on. Let another team deal with it. They got to start completely from scratch next year.
Fourth and 20, so I wanted Eagles to keep the ball to the end of half. That's not going to happen. They get a better bounce here. San Fran's going to have 63 seconds to, and no timeouts, try to get this ball down the field. Darnold just looks scared right now. Back to seeing ghosts. Dylan said on days that we don't stream, I beat to Mickey's wedding photos that he sent me. Darnold would be a good fit for the Colts, a good line and some weapons. Look at the Eagles' injury list. It's probably just as bad.
Could be Daniel Jones trade to the Colts. That's Hio's got a good line on it. I don't know. Are the Giants that like?
I don't see the Giants letting go of Jones.
No, Jones is pretty good.
I'd rather have Jones than Darnold.
Oh, that's without question. I'd rather have Jones than a lot of quarterbacks, oddly enough.
Well, it depends where your franchise is at. If you want to win games right now, I wouldn't want Jones. But if you're looking 5 years down the line, I'd want Jones.
I don't even think 5. I think 2.
I don't think the Giants can make enough moves coaching-wise or roster-wise to improve enough in 2 years.
I might want Jones over Wentz right now, to be honest.
If I'm trying to win games, I'd rather have Wentz. If I'm trying to build for the future, I'd rather have Jones.
Yeah, okay. Which I don't know what the Eagles are doing neither.
The Eagles are trying to win games. They've got a lot of injuries.
Not good enough.
Marquise Goodwin opted out on the Eagles roster.
Yeah, but how much of an impact is that?
Not a lot after how he played last season. First down here, but the clock keeps running. I'm just taking a look. They've got 13 players on IR, do the Eagles, or on 13 players on IR or physically unable to perform. And that list includes Andre Dillard, Brandon Brooks, Vinny Curry, Isaac Samalu, Dallas Goddard, Jalen Reagor, and Jason Peters, as well as Trevor Williams.
It's not that it's bad, but it's not. Look at San Francisco. It's not on their level.
I'm gonna catch up on chat after this. After these downs. 2nd and 10 for San Fran. I think they're just going to let the clock run out.
Yeah, we're going to have a halftime show here.
All right. In December, the Jets travel to Seattle and the Rams as well in back-to-back weeks. Are they going to actually snap this ball? No, they're not. Okay. In December, the Jets travel to Seattle and the Rams as well in back-to-back weeks. Yeah, that's not going to be good for the Jets. Giants are going to fire Gettleman, and they have a high chance to clean house, maybe keep Judge. I think that would be the smart thing for the Giants to do. If you
Well,
want
I
to
don't.
win, and for future, you take Breeze. Dylan, what was the live line when the Saints were down 14-0? I'm not sure. Corey, I wasn't checking. Jackson said, haha, Dylan, I saw a crazy stat about Breeze today, though. Brady and Manning have 93 career games with 300-plus passing yards, tied for second all-time. Breeze is first with 121. Yeah, Breeze's stats are always a little bit inflated with how they've played offense over his career. But he's been excellent. He's been very, very good. You the one that sent Breeze the rap mixtapes, Dylan? I don't know, but if I could have betted, I would have. I knew the Saints would win. All right. Sorry, fat guy. I cut you off earlier. You were going to bring up something with the Jets game or Gettleman?
No, I want to go back to the Giants. It's what would your plan of attack be? Like, in theory, you have a quarterback, you have a running back, though, but I don't see how that I don't see how Barkley really helps. To be honest, that sounds so defeatist, but I don't know, a highline running back I see as an encumbrance, because if you get hurt, it just kills so much action on your team, or kills so much preparation. You have to rework everything. I don't know, just bad. I think it's just bad. So would you just try and go for offensive line for the next 2 years? Like, what's the plan?
They need to draft. It's actually too bad they don't have more assets to trade off to start getting these draft picks going. But I think they've done better in drafts, I feel like, because they have been drafting linemen. It's just not translating yet on the field.
Well, what could you get for Barkley?
Well, nothing right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, and who would pay it?
It's going to be 2 years until that guy is back to normal.
It's true.
Because did he do his ACL?
I believe so. I mean, you can come back from it. It's just
he'll be fine in 2 years. It's just he's not going to be able to play the rest of this year. He can physically play next year, but it's a 2-year injury until you're back to normal.
Sometimes more, Big Rye.
Sorry, guys. I'm just looking to see what Barkley's injury is. Yeah, he tore his ACL. Like, he's not going to be the same player for 2 years. Fat guy is so cool, Nelson.
Oh, my God. I know who that is. Oh, jeez. That's a friend of the show, Nelson. He's using one of my key insults.
How about the Texans, the Dolphins on the first and second round pick? That's good for the Dolphins. The Dolphins are going places. The Dolphins have a really good coach. It'll be interesting to see when Tua starts playing, but it seems like they might redshirt him this year too. I think it just depends how desperate they're feeling. But Miami's moving in the right direction.
They don't need to rush anything. They really don't. If I was ownership, I'd be really happy with the progress that they've made. Did a complete overhaul, and it's looking great. They got a whole bunch of draft picks. I think they've won on everything that they've done. I'm into Miami. I think it's great.
Yeah, not trading back is the biggest problem. Gettleman living back in the 80s. It was one of those things where I've been talking about this with Fat Guy lately, and the only reason you're taking like a big running back or big receiver is just to like it's for fans. Like, it's just popularity. Like, a lot of people are hyped about the Giants because of Barkley. And it might bring in more money than we realize.
Yeah, but
it's not bringing in wins.
But that's short term. You're letting, you know what brings in the most amount of money, Big Rye? Winning.
But winning is hard, and bringing in a player like Barkley is easy.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I'd just rather do it because think about it this way: the Patriots haven't really had an exciting team, in my opinion, in a long time. In a really long time. So they were doing it ugly. They were, but they were winning, and it's like that's enough. It's just more, to me, it's just more advantageous to at least go for the win, right? Because a lot of like the Patriots were, last time they were really exciting was what, that dream team that went 16-0. These other teams have been mostly slow defensive teams, and I don't mind it, but I don't know. I can't imagine a lot of people wouldn't bother with them unless they were winners, right?
I'm gonna say the Bears draft last year was a win. They got Daniel Jones, they got Dexter Lawrence,
Giants draft.
Yeah, the Giants. Sorry, they got DeAndre Baker at the end of the first round.
Well, that's done now.
And they got Darius Slayton in the 5th round.
Oh, that's a win. The Baker thing's unfortunate, but it's a part of, that's one of the things. It's hard to draft guys who don't have life skills.
And then in this draft, they took a tackle at 4, Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, big boy. Real big boy.
They took a safety who might not have played yet in the 2nd round, so that's not good. It's still way too early to say with this draft. And then they took Barkley. They took Will Hernandez, a guard, in the 2nd round. Lorenzo Carter and BJ Hill as well.
They have an interesting defensive line, Big Rye.
To me, it's the Giants were like, coach is the most important position on the Giants right now. And coach is going to be the biggest difference maker between the success the Giants have. I think that the Giants roster and the Dolphins roster is pretty comparable, but the coaching on the Dolphins and the player development on the Dolphins has been so much better than it is on the Giants.
I think the upside's way higher on Miami, to be honest. Just top to bottom, I think they're slightly better and younger. So, and the philosophy of it too. So, and the coaching. So it's a ton of stuff. Jackson has a question. Should the Chargers continue playing Herbert? He looks good, but he's 0-3, and he could learn a lot behind Taylor. Well, the Taylor injury, that's the thing, is it's not really a choice right now. I say roll with him this year. I mean, it's experience. There's no making up for experience in this spot. I actually think the Chargers are further along than someone like Miami, and they actually have a chance. It's a tiny chance, a very tiny chance, but it's a chance, right? That OBJ trade could be one of the worst trades ever. Yeah, I agree. We thought it was hilarious when it happened. Gettleman literally said a team could win now and rebuild at the same time. Well, I mean, that just sounds like a guy lobbying for his job, if anything. Why would they sit Herbert? Well, there's reason to it. It's protecting an asset, Coriandi. I understand what Jackson's suggesting, right? Because the win probability is probably comparable, but it's not really a choice right now. But if they can compete and get reps for Herbert, then I don't mind. What's the early line on Cleve? I'll let Big Rye handle that. 2011 team was fast, though, fat guy. Brady went for over 5,000 yards, and as the defense was 37 ranked one year that they had Gronk and Hernandez. Yeah, that's the team I was talking about that was exciting, but that's the last one. You know what I mean? These other teams, like the team that beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, that was a defensive team that was mediocre on offense.
Cleveland's 1-point underdogs right now at Pinnacle.
Gettleman loves Mammy's dumplings. Who doesn't? I love Mammy's dumplings. Kung Fu.
I'm just taking a look. So the Chargers played the Bengals and they've won, which is expected. They lost in overtime to the Chiefs, that's an impressive loss for them.
That's a win.
Then they lost to the Panthers by 5, which is, some people think the Chargers are the better team, but like that's pretty close between Panthers and Chargers, to be honest. So they lost that coin flip, and then they lost to Tampa in Tampa, which is to be expected. They're going to play the Saints next week. Saints most likely win. That's a Monday night game. You want to talk about experience for Herbert? You get to play the Saints in New Orleans on Monday night. That's good experience. I think Herbert's not quite ready, but like the Chargers aren't winning the Super Bowl this year. So if your goal is to make the playoffs, then I think you want Tyrod Taylor. If your goal is to get better, I think you play Herbert. And Corey, it's a little bit deceiving to say that like Brady threw for 5,000 yards and the defense was last, but that team was up every single game, so the other team is like gunning.
And they're going to give plays up, like they're going to play it soft.
That was like the Chargers when they were first for offense and defense, but then last for special teams.
Special teams, yeah.
But when you're giving up like a kick return touchdown every game, that's essentially a turnover. Like it's a bad turnover, but that's how you get to be first or last in anything. There was another team today, and I was laughing because they were talking about how they're it was the Seahawks. The Seahawks are second worst against the pass. Weird, because the Seahawks are winning every game they play, so I don't like every team has to throw on them. Yeah, Seahawks are 4-0. They've played the Falcons, Patriots, Cowboys, and Dolphins.
I have a feeling who I kind of like in that game. Cleveland just won a stunning victory. And, I mean, Indy got the job done, but you guys know what I like. I like ugly. So, hate to tip off the video too much, but it's a pretty obvious one there. Yeah, Herbert's got a good hairline, absolutely.
Eckler's expected to miss multiple weeks, according to Fantasy Pros. I think it's still too early to say exactly how long Eckler's going to be out.
You got Eckler is a well put together, impressive human being. So I'm confident that the timetable for him should be shortened almost.
Yeah, there's definitely inconsistencies with Herbert Hale. I think early public's been on the Browns because they opened at 2.5 and they bet down to 1. So I think people are high on what the Browns have done against Dallas. Chubb's probably going to be out, whether that makes a difference. All right, looks like the second half is just about to kick off. So San Fran starts with the ball. So Shanahan said we need Mullins to settle down. And I noticed Mullins was not pulling the trigger on his dropbacks, and it kind of threw off the San Fran offense. And Peterson's essentially saying, like, they need Wentz to run the ball. Like, they're just not going to win with him in the pocket. Good run from McKinnon to start the half. I didn't realize, but that was a really nice play fake from Nick Mullins that ended up freezing the linebacker and allowing McKinnon to pick up 9.
He's a nice backup. Like it's not the end of the world if you have to start Nick Mullins. I think he's 6-4 as a starter or 4-6. Doesn't matter. It's been serviceable.
I think just the expectations for him are so low, but the offensive coaching for San Fran is so good that you can get away with it. They've got a yards over expected.
Gilbert Arenas did bring a gun in the locker room.
And a strike from Mullins. Ayuk picks up the first down. Yeah, that Ayuk touchdown was something.
It was unreal. Possible play of the week. Although I gotta say, did anyone see that lineman Lloyd Cushenberry III knock out the interception on Thursday night? That was rad. That was really rad.
Play action.
San Fran feels like they're in control of this game, but they're losing. God, I hate when those guys have to be so careful on that stupid mat. Someone said it earlier, it should just be artificial turf. Yeah, I know. That is that. Oh, there. Whoa, that was unbelievable. It had me speechless. That run. He made like 3 great choices in that. And then he dove for the first down. Wow, but
he got every.
Is anyone noticing this? Man, Barnett is beating Trent Williams handily. I think Trent Williams is out of shape. That's my opinion. He was the best tackle in the league 2 years ago. Yeah, you could be right, Mickey. There's got to be some surface. Or just leave it grass and resod it every week. I guess it's expensive, but man, one lawsuit, forget it. Maybe it should be a ball pit. Kittle's having a strong game.
The receiver on San Fran was moving as that ball was snapped. I'm surprised they didn't get called for anything. The Eagles would die for Trent Williams right now.
He's not wrong. He is not wrong. Eagles would die for a 200-pound Joe Thomas. Jeff Wilson Jr. scoring some points for Mickey Hill. Put him in a cage like UFC. Oh, you put like foam boards.
That's like arena football. Just play with hockey boards.
I don't know, foam ones. You just flip over them.
First and goal for San Fran.
Bend but don't break, D. Oh, there's a lot of bending right now, Jay.
This is pretty much where San Fran got to on their last successful drive, and then they had the turnover from Mullins. Second and goal. Looking like a tired Eagles defensive front.
It's a low-hanging fruit joke, Mickey, but it's great. Oh, that could have been close if Kittle caught it with some steam. He had a teardrop Pistol Pete pass on that one.
That's pretty good, Mickey. Oh, Untouchable Jay. Trying to see if his fortunes can be met.
If he can will it, as they say. He's 1 for 1 already. Well, it's going to be hard to will that one. George Kittle with a emphatic touchdown and a great. This is a best game of the season for George Kittle, I would say.
And then Kittle almost fell.
Kittle cash for Mickey Hill. The fantasy points. Mickey Hill needs a lot of help though to win that matchup though, despite putting up the most points in the league on average up until this week.
Even like, what's the surface here when Kittle gets off this grass? Is it cement?
Well, there's cement underneath. That's going to hurt some fantasy dreams of Untouchable Jay.
Miami just made me a few shekels on the money line.
Oh, the Heat won?
The Heat won.
Yeah. Right on.
The Heat won by 11.
That's rad. I'm pissed. At my poker game on Friday, I almost got the Heat plus 11.5. We were arguing, and he wanted 10.5. And I said, no, 11.5 firm. That would have been $200. I wanted a good line. I didn't get it. So Jackson took him on the money line. Hey-oh. I love it, guys. I love it.
That's awesome. The live line is back to San Fran minus 7.5. Nice, Untouchable. That's a really big win.
That'll do. That'll do.
It's unlikely, but it would be something, Mickey. We're starting to reach the end of LeBron's career, and it's just so impressive what he's been able to do as a player. What is this? His 10th finals?
Yeah, I hear that if you win a championship on your 10th one, parts of your hairline grow back. LeBron James, not my favorite person, but a great athlete. Ooh, they put the NBA Finals up on screen. Wow.
Play action from Philly. They get him outside of the pocket, which is what they wanted. Wentz does make the most of it.
Absolutely.
Oh, Bam and Dragic didn't play tonight? Holy.
Man.
I feel like that's a missed opportunity for the Lakers.
Butler's such a castaway, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind him sticking it in the eye of the Lakers.
2nd and 6. Play action again. They get him outside of the pocket. They roll out. Is that Richard Rodgers?
Yes, it is. Lumbering tight end, known for the infamous Hail Mary caught against Detroit when he was a Green Bay Packer. That block and release was good. The run after left a little to be desired, but oh, Wentz, buddy.
Jeez.
Their record is, it wasn't me who brought it up, but it's below 500 pretty much since then, and more or less their I don't type that much. More or less their
which year did they win the Super Bowl?
3 years ago, 2017.
So they've been 9-7, 9-7, and then 0-2-1.
Oh, so they're at 500 then. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. I thought it was 2 games below 500 for some reason.
Well,
Whereas their
the big
record
thing was it was the Giants and the Redskins have been like 6 of their wins or whatever it is.
6 of their wins in those 2 years were from the Giants and the Redskins. So no, 8 of their wins. 8 of their wins. So that doesn't. It's not even like. So it's that even that's deceiving. You know what I mean?
It reminds me. I know this reference is gonna kind of get lost on people, but the Canucks back in 2010 and 2011. That's when the NHL had so many division games, and the division was just so poor. So the Canucks were always inflated at the end of the year because they had all those terrible division games.
Yeah, they're playing the Wild and stuff like that.
Oh, well, they were playing like Calgary and Edmonton, and those teams were very, very bad. It helps when you get to play the worst teams in the league over and over.
That was an interesting play call. Richard Rodgers tearing it up right now. Hey, Untouchable J still made the playoffs. I guess that's it. Winning's everything, isn't it? NFC East. Yeah, actually, right now, yes. Ooh.
I do like that about the NFL, that even a team that's 7-9 can get in and make some noise in the playoffs.
Well, the New York Giants were an 8 seed, and they unseeded the 2011 Patriots, best team ever. So it's beautiful. The 1-game format's fantastic.
As a 6 seed, most likely, not it. Was there 8 seeds?
Yeah, this is
before that?
8. Or yeah, 6 seeds. Sorry.
It's gonna be weird having seven seats this year.
I keep thinking I always say 8 seed because it's the last seed because I think hockey. I don't know why.
Yeah. Just a
Because
little bit
hockey,
off
that's
target.
famous. Hockey, that happens all the time.
Yeah. Sanders with the drop. I want to see this one again. I want to see where this ball hits from Wentz.
Him in the top of the shin.
Yeah, that's not the throw that you want to be making there.
He could have hit him on the stride.
Yeah, Sanders had so much space. It's small things like that that make a huge difference. Because that would have been a first down play. Now they're at 3rd and 9. They're going to be lucky to pick up this first down.
I think it would have been a 20-yard play if you hit him in stride.
They're blitzing off the corner, so Wentz needs to get rid of this ball fast. He manages to escape pressure, and he runs for the first down.
This is one of the better games
difficult.
I've seen Wentz play in the last couple years.
I think this has been pretty standard from him.
We were talking about that earlier, Jackson. Big Rye thinks that it'll be 8 and 8. I think it's going to be 7 and 9. We're both selecting Dallas, though.
I still think Dallas is going to be above 500.
I disagree. I got them at 7 and 9 now, considering the start. Math's against them.
So Wentz looks like he's about a half yard short.
This article about the Chargers' old doctor is hilarious. I've been reverting back to it a little bit in between commercials, and he's just been sued for malpractice so many times. And he drank with the team and stuff, so he was more of like a buddy that happened to be a doctor.
Was this for the... Are you talking about the Chargers or a different team now?
Chargers. This is the Chargers before the guy they have now that punctured
Tyrod Taylor.
It's just ineptitude from the organization.
So Cowboys are 1 and 3, 2 and 3. That's a coin flip. I'll say 2 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 5, 3 and 6. 4 and 6, 5 and 6, 5 and 7, 6 and 7, 6 and 8. I think they're going 8 and 8 if I had to look at games that they are going to be favored in.
We could probably figure it out to the number, oddly enough. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Washington starts playing Smith. It might be worth a few shekels for them to win the division. I totally agree, Jackson. 8, 7, and 1 should do it, says Mickey. So the Eagles have an interesting decision to make here. Fourth and 1. They're in field goal range. Down 6. I'm assuming they're going to go for it. Peterson's been one of the better coaches about being aggressive on offense in these situations. Oh, I appreciate it, Corey. I'm going to try to be consistent. I kind of want to get one of those. I'm planning on it. I expect a sneak from him here. We'll see what we get. Oh, they audible out. That was interesting, and that was a very strong play by Wentz. A little bit aggressive, but a strong play. I really, really like what the Eagles did there strategy-wise about changing up the play to make it look like they're going away from that. I appreciate it, Corey. You have a good night. Thank you, Mickey. I appreciate it. Second and 8 from the Eagles. Handoff to Sanders with lots of room. Good tackle by Armstead. It's going to be 3rd and short. Looks like they only have one safety deep. It looked like Lane Johnson jumped early, but I believe Miles Sanders is going to get a spot where they get this first down. No. I thought he jumped early, but it looked good on that replay. Eagles look like they're running a hurry up after that first down run. Second and 8. Play action. Oh, this is going to be a sack. Wentz does a good job getting rid of that ball. Most likely get some substitutions from San Fran to get the defense they want after the Eagles went hurry up on 2nd and 8. So 3rd and 8 here for the Eagles. Wentz is going to have to make a play if they're hoping to get a touchdown on this drive. Ooh. Wentz does a good job getting away from pressure inside the pocket, but it doesn't look like he even looks up to like read the defense when he makes those throws. Looks like Kwan Williams picked up an injury on that play. He saw him. The throw was just late and behind him. Yeah. Not an easy throw for Wentz to make. And the field goal is good from Elliott. It's a 3-point game.
And we're back.
Eagles had to settle for a field goal.
Cutting the lead to what? 5?
3 points. 14-11 for San Fran.
14-11? Yeah. For a guy who thinks he knows how to do math, I'm sure bad at it.
Live line is San Fran 4.5. That's a good question, Jackson. In the contest, we have 6.5 San Fran, but then IRL, I've got the 8.5 for.
I mentioned it in the video as a possibility.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm having a lapse in memory. Untouchable Jay's got Eagles money line. He still needs 30 points from the defense for fantasy.
It's going to be tough to get.
But I got Eagles plus 8.5, and then we have San Fran minus 6.5 in the contest. I'm excited for tomorrow.
It'll be good. I'm still curious about the...
Yeah, that's a good point, Mickey. As Mickey mentioned earlier, you got the Pats at plus 7, which is not great now.
A lot of books were returning from what I've heard. I mean, I didn't experience it myself, but yeah, I think so, Jay.
Yeah, Jackson. On Action Network, it says 3.5. From 3.5 to, it was up to as high as 9.5 too. That's a huge swing. That's a lot of key numbers. He's got Kelsey tomorrow.
We don't have a wide, like, we never look at him. We never really take him seriously. I know there are ones like the one you're talking about is a plus EV one, but it's one of the very, very, very few ones that actually are. But we don't have access to enough ones to actually make that work. There's a local bookie that does them where you can use covariance. You can use, you can bet the same game over, under, and spread, and just parlay it, right? But that's just, those opportunities are just so narrow for us, right? So it's difficult. If we were in Nevada, it would be something worth investigating to do, but we have limited online sports books that don't really offer good any value actually in terms of teasers or parlays. They do have better juice though for spread picks. That's why we prefer them. So probably gonna reread Wong's book this week, I think. I gotta catch up on some reading. I've been playing too much poker lately.
Mickey said he's heard some good things about 2-team 6-point teasers.
Yeah, like we generally as a rule just crap on them, but there are some, like it's not a blanket statement. It's just so often that it's a bad idea that it's rarely worth consideration. You can crunch the numbers and find weak ones at specific books. Usually there's promotional ones in Vegas. I know that have to happen from time to time. But again, we're landlocked in Canada right now, so it's a little bit difficult.
I would say if you're going to be doing teasers or parlays, like really understand the math behind it and break down whether it's worth it for you. Like I think not enough people take enough time to really understand the math.
Well, yeah, if you did, you'd find that there's about one in 100 offerings offers any sort of like expected value that's reasonable. Like I said, the one I do like, there's a bookie in town that does offer a true 2-team parlay, so at 4-1, and you can parlay the total and the spread in the same game. That to me is worth it. So, I'm not allowed to do that anymore with that guy, but there was a time. That was years ago, though. Check out the Sports Guy show. He loves teasers. Yeah, I've watched the Sports Guy show because he's a competitor, I guess, of ours, but he's on a different biplane than we are. He posts winnings when if he took the Ravens to win the Ravens money line against the Washington football team, he'd post that as a win. So it's just kind of like discrediting, you know what I mean? I find him to be a really big square. Slightly entertaining, though. He's a guy with an angry, weird voice sitting in a room. Like it's interesting. And the other thing too is I could see it being popular because he picks he picks things that people want to like to pick. You know what I mean? So we just have a different philosophy. We're more interested in the market aspect and what's behind sports betting. Ours is less side. We don't really like gambling. That's the weird thing. We make it sound like we like gambling. We really don't. I only play poker games with people that are worse than me. Big Rise never bought a lottery ticket. Neither have I. We're not the guys that you. Big Ry doesn't buy insurance because he thinks it's a ripoff. Well, I guess he does. I guess you do like gambling, eh, Big Ry?
Yeah, I'll gamble on that all day. Zaps, lately we've been making plays pretty much solely off of market factors.
Yeah, pretty much.
We used to do a lot more research to go along with handicapping research to go along with the market factors, but the amount of work that you put in to the payoff just wasn't there.
Because even if you were 1% better, the amount of work it takes to get to that 1%. That's why I don't like emphasizing handicapping in our show, our pick video. Even though our pick video is it promotes the contest and there's a lot of entertainment involved. It's to talk about market and decision making. That's really what the crux of the show is about, right? So it's not going to line up with that's a funny thing is we shoot ourselves in the foot. It's not going to line up with 90% of people. And that's why there's a lot of vitriol in the comment section. But in the same focus, like it's what we believe in, right? So we're true to that and we're not disingenuous. And we're honest about results and stuff. Big Rise contest idea is the best thing we've done. And I'm glad we have it. And I'm glad we're all participating and competing, right?
Yeah, Mickey, that's one of the things I did with my picks is that I specifically put the away teams and the home teams separate because I could literally care less who they're playing against when it comes to looking at the market factors. Because if you have to bet the Jets every week, like it's just tough. It's tough. You just don't want to do it. If you're going to be betting like the Ravens every week, it's super easy. Like you feel like you're never going to lose, but that's not true if you're betting spreads.
Jackson's right about the contest picks. Yeah. We'll throw in some handicapping reasoning, but you can find reasoning to do for or against anything more or less. So, but betting actual money, it's marketplace. I prefer I like taking bets more than anything, but that's not always possible. But it does happen from time to time. So,
Zaps, but if market plays aren't great and the spreads aren't huge, they make contest picks based on handicapping / football reasons. Anyone here from Florida, Tampa area? Not you guys, Big Rye, looking to move. Well, Dylan Toddfield is from Florida.
I'm sure he can let you know what type of community they have out there.
So just under 13 minutes left in this game. Philly's down 3, and they've got the ball. So for this second half, Doug Peterson wanted to get Wentz out of the pocket, and I feel like they've done a really good job of that with the play calling. It kind of sputtered out at the end of that drive, but we'll see how many more play calls they have to get Wentz mobile and moving. It gave him a little bit more time to make those throws. Dylan is from Florida. Good luck. I can't wait to see a Florida Man headline about Dylan. I don't know if you haven't actually seen one about Dylan yet.
Yeah, how could there not be?
You think I should do that video live on Saturdays?
That's not a bad idea. That's up to him. It's his segment. I get my show's the Sunday nighter, so he'll have to answer that one.
I forget what part of Florida Dylan's from.
I thought it was like around Tampa, but I can't say for sure, Jay. Yeah, I'd have to let him answer that.
49ers have a separate punter and kicker. Unless one of them's got injured and I just didn't realize it this game. Every time I see Florida Man, I expect it to be Dylan.
So would I. How could you not?
Yeah, Zab says he remembers last year we handicapped the Super Bowl, but every other play was a market play.
Yeah, well, that's the reason we would handicap the Super Bowl is because the market is almost set in stone every year in the Super Bowl because they're just balancing. You know what I mean? It's the biggest bet of the year. They don't want to.
If there is a market play for Super Bowl, though, it's very strong. But if it's not, if there's no market play, then we still want to make a play. So we'll move to handicapping. And plus, you've got 2 weeks to handicap the Super Bowl, which for one game gives us a lot of time. So if we want to do the research, we can. But the amount of work that goes into handicapping, week 4 of the NFL it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And for the amount of money that we have in the bankroll, it's just not worth the time at the moment.
Florida man arrested for betting Saints -40 while naked in a McDonald's. Which part was he arrested for? Who knows? I don't even know if that's illegal in Florida, Jackson.
One of Dylan's offers, one of his bet offers, was to run to his local news station completely naked. It does sound like a Florida man thing to do.
It sounds like something he'd want to do regardless.
Yeah, that too.
Florida man found with an alligator stuck up his head. If it's the right size alligator, like medium, it would probably work for him. He did drink a glass of milk with his own pubes in it, though. Everyone should thank me for putting the money up for that. His delicates, yeah. If we do, yes, Zaps, absolutely. The fact that it's a little bit different, though. We're trying to do we're collecting data so that we can start doing college next year. and hopefully like hopefully it's a little bit like everything's a bit more streamlined, because that data this year is a little bit tarnished just because of virus precautions and stuff like that.
If you want to do the research, Zaps, Action Network is definitely, I'd recommend getting it.
Highly recommend. It's highly recommend. Which Niner got injured here?
I didn't see.
It looked like his foot got stuck.
Is it K'Wan Williams again? Number 24 on San Fran? Yeah.
What other sites do you recommend for research? Let me pull up my thing.
Nice, Zaps.
Oh, okay. It depends what you wanna do exactly, but there's another one where you can buy historical stuff called the footballlines.com. So they do have historical data that you can buy. So if you want a starting place, that you used to be able to buy historical data from Sports Insights, which became Action Network, but they don't offer that stuff anymore. So the footballlines.com will sell not as good data, but historical data on some NFL market stuff. It's not complete. It's not what I'd like it to be, because I'd like to have a full data set where I could see all the movements, but I haven't been able to find anything on the internet to do it for the past few years. So realistically, I have to go off everything Big Rise collected, which isn't as much as we would both like because of the difficulty in it. Unders are killing me. Yeah, Mickey.
Another thing too for us is that, like, we've been tracking spreads and stuff for a long time, but as far as like being able to track open lines, closing lines, the money bet, the betting percentages, like, we just don't have complete data for everything. And every year it just seems like if they make it a little bit easier to get a little bit more data. So the data that we get every year becomes a little bit more complete, but then you don't have the same sample size because money percentage is a relatively new thing that they're giving out. Whereas when we started, they didn't provide that.
Here's an interesting thing. Back in the day, like 12 years ago, 11 years ago, a Sports Insight account that gave the same information that Action Network does was like $400 a month. And that would have been 400 American, because Canadian American was about the same then. So now it's like, what's Action Network Big Ride? $9 a month?
It's relatively cheap. It might have been like $100 for the year, but it's It's worth it. It's worth it for the information they provide.
Whereas pretty much you had to be a professional to afford a $400 a month thing.
Eventually the lines are going to be adjusted, and like the unders will be a good play to make, but I just don't know. I haven't even been following the over-under market to see if the lines have been creeping up.
Well, they have to. They're going to have to be overvalued again. Like, I'm going to consider unders, start taking unders if there's another blowout weekend.
And it's kind of the same thing with over-unders as it was last season with home field advantage. There's that argument that home field advantage was gone, and the average win was by 1 point at home, whereas historically it's been 3 points or more. And then you can completely throw that out the window this year with COVID, because there's not even fans at most of the stadiums. And I haven't taken a look at home versus away and what the point differences have been, but I got a feeling it's not very high.
I don't blame you, Mickey. I mean, it's one thing is we're humans, right? Like, it's just hard to throw good money after bad when you're losing. That's why a lot of the strategies that Big Ryan and I employ takes a lot of gusto to keep banging away at it, because you're going to win ugly and you're going to lose uglier.
I don't know if now is the right time, Mickey, but if you're hesitating to do it on a play that you would have normally made, then it probably is time to keep doing it.
That's a good point.
We've done it the opposite way, where the fat guy and I have had a really, really good start to a season, and then we're like, oh, if we're this good this year, we're going to start betting more. And that's usually when you start losing. Max, there's definitely still a play without Cam Newton. The line's changed. What's the line right now?
There's still a play on the Pats game without Cam. Yeah, depending on how many
Pats are
points you're getting, Max.
10.5 at Pinnacle at the moment. There's only 32% of bettors on the Pats, but 60% of the money's on the Pats. And they say this line opened at 12.5, and now it's bet down to 10.5. So I really like the Pats. I really like them at 10.5. I'd rather get them at 10.5 than at 10 or lower. And for me, it's a 3-unit play. So I'm actually going to go and make that bet now before that line moves.
You can't afford a half point there, Chief.
So I put in a 3-unit play, which is 3% of my bankroll on the Patriots for tomorrow at 10.5.
Jackson's got a great point here. I like it. We're in the same headspace. I agree with Mickey. Mickey, we should just honestly, if there is another blowout record-setting weekend next week, I'll just take the unders on every game next week. The week after, I don't even care. Like any game involving right now, Cleveland, Dallas, Seattle, it's hard not to like the under because they're scoring it at way above expectation pace. That's a big play for Philly.
And we got a ball game. Yeah, Max. I just got them 10.5 at -108. So I could see this line getting down to 10 by tomorrow.
Ten and a half is a good number. I agree, Mickey.
Yeah, still wait. Who knows? That line might go the opposite way. Or, like you said before, with the COVID concerns, if Newton passed it on to anyone else, or if anyone else tests positive. Yeah, exactly.
It's just the issue if you're wrong and it goes to 10, it's worse of a loss than if it goes up to 11.5.
But
like that half point's just...
Fat Guy's completely right, but there's also the point at if it hits 10, you might just leave this alone. Well,
that's what I mean, right? Like you're gambling on whether you're going to even bet, if that makes any sense. Because that half point might be the only, might be your advantage, your plus EV on the whole game, right? So crazy how, when you talk to the average person, they don't understand how thin the margins are. They're just razors. They're just razor thin.
Yeah, that's the right way to be.
My favorite, though, is when you talk to a regular person and say we're arguing over the half point, Mickey, and they go, oh, yeah, well, the Chiefs won by 7, so you didn't need that half point anyways. And it's just so easy. It's so easy to be results-based. You're like, yeah, I didn't need it this time, but that's not the point. You're packaging everything together, and it's over a long period of time. Saps, the change from 3.5 to 3 is also huge. It's the biggest. It's the biggest. That's why games when I used to take bets against people, I'd charge -110, and then I would ask if it was -2.5, I would make them lame 3.5, and that's like or 11% right there. I think maybe 9. It's absurd. Yeah, it did exactly, Mickey. And I said in the video, I would wait until 14.5, and did it come to fruition? Absolutely. That was an interesting play by Jalen Hurts. 7.5 matter with the Chargers. Absolutely, Max. We have to fight. And think about it. Those are 2 wins. That's 2 wins, right? That could be – and it's a swing of 4. It's a swing of 4, right? Because you went from 2 wins to 2 losses. That's huge, huge.
And both of those games, I had different results in the contest versus my bets.
Exactly, right? Because the contest number was an early number, right?
Yeah, it was 13.5 and 7.5, and then the betting wise, I got 14.5 and 7, so I pushed on the 7. So yeah, C. Jackson got a push on Washington. It hurts watching these kind of plays. Well, it hurts when they don't work, but it's worth them trying these plays.
Well, he's making a pun here, Big Rye.
Yeah. But, like, there was a clean pocket, and he misses Ward. Like, that's just a miss. It's a miss throw.
A couple of those throws this game already.
What an aggressive job on defense by San Fran. Are they on the 40?
Well, 38.
So this is in Jake Elliott's range.
Yeah, you can do it. They're gonna go for it though. They haven't done it. They haven't done it.
With how this offense has been performing, I don't like this decision.
I'm okay with it. That one paid off. It is interesting though. Remember that kick he made against, I think it was the Giants? It was unreal. You know what I mean? And I feel like it was longer. I don't know. You could give Elliott a shot.
Off the top of my head, I think that was a 61-yard field goal.
Yeah.
What's going on, AP Indy? How you doing? 0-2-2 sounds not bad. Me Too Jackson had Ravens in contest.
Yeah, Ravens covered in the contest, and depending on the line, not in real life. Then you just give the yards up anyways. Wow, they are pumped. I don't know why they don't, like, there's a lot. They're not going north-south very much, this Philly team.
Well, I just don't think they can, but the San Fran has been so aggressive getting upfield on these plays.
Lost 12 yards on a play. That's, like, hard to do.
No. Oh my goodness. This is probably coming back.
Jackson, oh damn, I took Washington both ways, doing worse in the contest than in real life. I'm hoping I'll get a t-shirt sometime this season. Yeah, you better shoot for a t-shirt. We're doing worse in the contest than in real life, but I mean it's fine. Oh yeah, Zapp's one good thing is he's having one of his better games. You know, I'm getting everything I wished for that I was asked at the start of the game. Niners only 6.5, not looking too good right now. Well, Big Rye bet Philly plus 8.5, so it's looking okay.
there's still a lot that could happen in these last 7 minutes.
Absolutely.
Spread-wise. Wentz has had actually a lot of success scrambling, but he doesn't look too light on his feet this game.
Light in the loafers?
Yeah, he doesn't look like a DTF. Oh my goodness. 2 fouls on San Fran, and Philly somehow picks up a first down after that play.
Yep.
When I lose in the contest, when I win in the contest, I lose on my bets and vice versa.
Well, at least you're picking up a W in one form or another.
That's one way of looking at it.
Well, we had a gentleman earlier in the chat that he was upset that, his picks didn't get through at 6 p.m. He would have been 11-0. Can you guys believe it?
It definitely is hard to be in the black zaps.
Yeah.
With that minus 110, you go 6-5 and you're even. Like, that's how hard it is. You need to go 7-4 to even make money.
This is hilarious.
Untouchable with another pun.
He got it. Touchdown. I don't even know who that player is.
Fulham? How do they say it on the broadcast?
Fulgham.
Travis Fulgham was activated off the practice squad. He played college football at Old Dominion.
Old Dominion?
Yep.
Holy, they don't have very many players coming out. I'll tell you that much.
He was drafted by the Lions in 2019 in the 6th round. He was also claimed off of waivers by the Packers, and then he's made his way onto the Eagles. It's like so easy for me to say this now, but with how aggressive and how much pressure they were bringing, I had a feeling that San Fran was only playing one safety deep, and I was just wondering when they were going to take a shot down the sideline like that, and they actually got it done. The extra point is good, puts Philly up 4 with 5:50 left. So we talked about this before the game, what we wanted to see from the Eagles, but now in this scenario, I really want to see what San Fran draws up on offense and how Nick Mullins looks in this 5-minute drill, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I agree. Hit the sack, Jackson. This game won't change whether you go to bed or not. Have a good one, Chief. Always glad to have you.
Jackson. That's all these touchdown hell, yeah. That's all these divas need is another screen to look at. Looks like a BDM is falling to 7-6. Is that Big Dick Mullins? Is that what BDM means? Pretty sure I might be down a bit lifetime. I think that's fair to say, Zaps. Some interesting group dynamics from my contest league. Chalk. 25 people had the Ravens, 0 had Washington, 35 had Seattle, 8 had Miami, 40 had Buffalo, 3 had Oakland.
It is interesting. I mean, if it's a pick'em contest, you could make a case for taking just about every dog in that situation if there's a weekly payout.
Yeah. Because the Washington had a better than 0% chance of winning that game.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, Miami had a better chance than 20% at winning their game.
No, it's not. It's 8 to 48.
19%. The and Oakland had a better
16.6
chance than 7% of.
Most certainly, the Oakland one will be the easiest one, even though it didn't come out. We had Niners too.
For dogs, 4 had Browns, 29 had Cowboys, 4 had Cincy,
20 had
20
Jacksonville.
I think people are pretty I think like a square thinking mind still thinks Jacksonville is better than Cincinnati, which I think is fair. Like I think they're even, but if you just put a gun to someone's head and said who's better, Jacksonville or Cincy, I think people would say Jacksonville.
Yeah, I guess there's a real sour taste in the mouth of bettors that have backed Cincy. I took them every week last year.
Yeah.
So number of berries per game. Yeah, I could see that. That changes things a little bit if you only pick 5.
Oh my goodness. That is exactly not what you wanted to see from Mullins. And that gives a little bit of life to Untouchable Jay.
It must. It's got to.
I want to see a replay of what happened here. Mullins just didn't see him. He was it was interesting because he wasn't actually looking at that side of the field, and he kind of looked over and just threw the pass without actually looking, but that's a terrible turn of events for people on San Fran. Hey, he was thinking that there'd just be no one there because he wasn't actually looking at that receiver.
Eagles money line. Yeah, true. That looks like it's very likely going to cash here.
Eagles money line as well as the Heat money line.
Oh yeah.
Felipe yesterday. It's been a good few days for dogs. Well, I'm going to go ahead and update this because it's most likely Philly is going to cover. Mullins doing his best imitating Garoppolo. Two interceptions tonight for Mullins. He doesn't look like he's having too much fun. AP said, yes, fat guy, I had Jags, LOL. Guys, Jags defense is a sieve, and Joe Burrow is good.
Yeah, I don't mind Joe Burrow.
We're going to do week 5 tonight, Mickey.
Yeah, we got to. We lost too much in the fray.
We got like half the amount of views doing it on Tuesday morning. but I'm feeling fresh. I feel good tonight.
Oh, look what we got here. CJ Beathard coming in the game.
We get a screen.
This Eagles D is fired up. Untouchable Jay has a chance at getting another defensive turnover or touchdown, I think. Like a reasonable one. I have a question for anybody. I'm supposed to get a sleep apnea machine. I'm gonna order it on Amazon, but it's like $1,000. So has anyone tried it out? Like, does anyone have a any opinions on it? I'm soliciting medical advice from the YouTube community.
This is such a cock tease. The stash on this man running Minshew for his money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completion to Deebo Samuel.
What a fun name Debo is. Go with the mouthpiece. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, I only got this problem recently because my I got tonsillitis in January and they never went down, the tonsils, so I'm breathing heavier than normal, which is not good. Oh, another 2 points for Jay. I don't know what they're at, but I mean, this is they're probably first, I would imagine, for the week.
Nice play from Gary Ridgway.
It's like so unnecessary, Big Rye, but so necessary.
Hassan Ridgway. I won't throw
Is
his
that
name
what it
under the
was?
bus. It looked like someone jumped early. Fly, Eagles fly. 2:35 left in this game.
Is that Ayuk?
That's
Yeah.
Ayuk. It's going to be either 3rd and 1 or 1st and goal. It looks like they're giving him the 1st and goal. Looked like a miscommunication either on the route or the play call. Took the Eagles the 2 weeks prior and against the spread contest. Scared off them this week. Don't blame you, AP. They haven't looked very strong. This has been
that's just the time to take them, though, usually, oddly enough.
So they get the score before the 2-minute warning. And they still have 2 timeouts left. Right now it's a 5-point game. I'm assuming they're going to go for 2 here.
I don't know if he got.
He's short of the line. So it's going to be 3rd and goal with them just short of this. Bethard has a live arm, says Mickey Hill. AP said, I'm the book's little toy. Zap says, total bettors are sweating. Untouchable J says, Sanders time.
Yeah, it should be Sanders time. Is that down? I can't tell.
He definitely looks down.
Oh, is Al Michaels talking about the total now?
Well, right now they're at 45. I saw 45.5 was the closing line. I know someone in chat mentioned they were asking if they should take under 50.
Which would have came into play considering how good of a price that is.
So callers reversed. It'd be in the best interest of San Fran to get up to the line and get this playoff as quickly as they can. But for some reason, they're huddled up. They put a second back on the clock.
Look at the referee. Really? Is this a new home field advantage?
Well, the ref has to get back into position. They're going to start the clock now. It sure looked like McKinnon got in.
It's going to hurt me in fantasy in one of my leagues.
Don't you have McKinnon?
I got 4 leagues going, Big Rye.
How's that other league going?
Great until that carry.
I saw this earlier in one of the games, but they called, I believe it was on the Raiders. think it might have been Josh Jacobs, got called for leading with his helmet. A drop from Kittle. I would love to see them make that call on the goal line. Like you're telling me that McKinnon didn't leave with his helmet there. It's just a weird rule that I'm not sure how you're supposed to. Like it's one of those rules where it's so like.
Why did he throw it? I didn't realize how much until I saw that camera. He had all the space in the world.
I think if he could go back and do it again, he probably would have ran it in, but it's one of those split decisions and it went wrong. It was a pretty easy pitch and catch with Kittle that should have been completed.
Yeah, but it's like 100% if you run it in.
Yep, I agree. But I don't get this. That's like I like that it's not a call. I'm just confused by that call.
Yeah.
For an onside kick here, does the clock run?
No,
it starts once it's touched, right?
Yeah,
so I'm guessing this will get down to the 2-minute warning. I'm not sure what they're talking about here. Any insight from the commentary as to what's happening?
Well, they talked about the crown of the helmet, and then now they're talking about whether or not the clock would run. So they're talking about the type of kick where a play would have to get run off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The Eagles take a timeout, which I think is terrible. The San Fran has the option to kick this ball deep with 2 timeouts.
Yeah, they do. This is interesting. He said gold only comes out for onside kicks and place kicking. So there you go. They essentially have 3 timeouts, though. 49ers here.
Yeah, somehow. An interesting thing is the Eagles are going to get to run a passing play on this first play if they choose to. I think if Gould had a second chance at this, he'd wish he could get it because that ball got there fast. Rodgers didn't even make the catch originally. But he makes the play. Untouchable Jay says still not over, and it's definitely right. For cover bettors, unfortunately, this is pretty much over. Actually, no, we could still... There's still a lot that could happen. So they do decide to run the ball on a first down. And we're going to get the 2-minute warning with 1:56 left.
know my dad was making a new movie.
Is it
Dude,
that?
it's on.
Is it that grandpa one? It's a comedy.
Yes.
I'm sure it's terrible, but it actually caught my eye.
It looks exactly like him. Isn't that weird?
It's weird.
To give everyone insight, my father looks identical to Robert De Niro. Like they even have a mole. They're the same age. Even it's bizarre. So I don't know. Who knows?
Nothing good happens in Philly, according to Untouchable.
I can't imagine it would.
The live line is a pick-up, and the Eagles are minus 561. And a carry from Boston Scott.
He's not the guy I would want carrying the ball right now.
I was just gonna say definitely the player of choice if I could have a pick of the litter of the entire NFL running between the tackles.
You would pick Boston Scott?
Oh, number one, Boston Scott. There's no one else I could think of that I'd rather run between the tackles.
Okay, as long as we have that situated.
You talking to me? There's a really good chance San Fran gets this ball back with ample time left. I could see Philly running a pass play here.
Well, if it's between that and running in between the tackles with the ball boy, I get it.
Yeah. 5-star game here, fellas. And they do decide to run this. Wentz keeps this ball. They take the sack. If you're San Fran, do you want the timeout now, or do you want to let the clock run down and save that timeout?
I would save it.
They take it now. 7-star game.
Who said that?
Untouchable.
Yeah.
And then Max said Beathard's probably going to start next week.
Max is offering a very interesting insight. There's a good chance. I don't think he's wrong. I don't know how hurt Jimmy G is though, but
I think it also depends on how this last minute 46 goes. If Beathard wins, I think he gets the start. If he throws a pick six here on this first play, I think they might go back to Mullen.
That shouldn't even matter though. Like it's so, do you know what I mean?
It's performance based. They get that punt off quick. San Fran has a chance to return this, but it looks like Trent Taylor back there called for the fair catch. They got a minute 40 to march down the entire field. They got all 4 downs. They need a touchdown, no timeouts.
This is what football's made for, though.
San Fran to come back is plus 250. What's going on, Chirag? Chai says new quarterback might do an interception. Depends on how this drive goes, but he looked great. I'll keep Morrow over Beathard. Now they're plus 270. I'm surprised they still have live lines out. I guess this is a very popular time to bet the live line. San Fran jumps.
This has been not a good game for Trent Williams.
It's funny as an offensive lineman, if you notice a guy 3 or 4 times in a game, he's had a bad game.
Yeah. If you never notice him, he's doing great.
1st and 15. Beathard hits
Oh,
Bourne for the first down. AP Indy said, someone mentioned San Fran's schedule coming up. Miami next week, Rams, Pats, Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Rams, Bills.
you're in shit. If that's what it is, Indy, that's brutal.
Kittle carrying the pile to the 40.
What if you don't have your starting quarterback for some of that? You're in deep doo doo. Then they're gonna have value as a comeback candidate next year. This team isn't bad. Jay trying to go 2 for 3 here.
Untouchable says he's smelling a turnover. 43 seconds left.
Man, this is a great. Keep going, guys.
I got a feeling they're going to spike this ball. There's a wounded ref on the field. I'm surprised that they don't call an injury timeout for the ref.
That's what they're doing. It looked like he sold that. Oh, how could you not, Mickey? That's called a happy accident.
Eagles doing everything they can to delay the game.
This is NFL is so bizarre.
Is there any reason why they need to show Terry McAuley's face for that explanation? Like we wouldn't believe it if we didn't see him?
Yeah.
Was that really Terry McAuley on the audio? That was just so unnecessary to show Terry McAuley's face with 30 seconds left in this game.
Him to tell you that a ref fell. They've gotten that route every time. Go and spike now, guys. You gotta hurry up. Hurry up. This is taking too long. Wow.
Apparently playing a zone 15 yards off the line of scrimmage might not be the play of choice here.
Well, it's not that bad when you think about it, because the timing. Oh my God, he's 14 for 15. What? He's thrown that many passes, that many completions? No way. Good play.
12 seconds left. They've got 2 shots at the end zone if they're lucky.
You could do an out and get out of bounds because people might protect the end zone light. Or sorry, the sideline lighter and protect the end zone hard.
Good rush from Avery. And that is a game-winning pass rush right there by Brandon Graham.
Not his first game-winning pass rush.
That was tremendous.
You could still run an out, like a quick out to the sideline. That was rad. Who did he beat? Mike McGlinchey?
McGlinchey got beat back-to-back plays.
Former first-round pick.
That's like just borderline whether that was a pass or not. I think they gave it to him as a pass. So they probably should leave someone in to chip this time on that side. They've got Fletcher Cox lined up. But Philly takes a timeout. AP said, remember when Fletcher Cox was sued under the obscure North Carolina law? Always makes for an interesting Google session. I think the legal term was marital misconduct. I don't know what that law is. I'm not familiar with that Fletcher Cox story.
Well, marital misconduct, well, that must mean like infidelity.
This would be such an Eagles way to lose.
What do you mean Eagles way? This is like a Browns way to lose. Oh, I thought there was going to be a juggling act.
I think Mickey got a point. They probably would have had a better chance of converting that touchdown if it was 4th and 26.
Yeah.
Well, Philly manages to gut out a win. An upset for Sunday Night Football. So that's a loss in the contest against the spread. That's a winning bet at plus 8.5. And in unconvincing fashion, the Eagles win.
That's good though. It's good going forward if you want to bet on them. They've been unconvincing all year. Let's put it that way.
Eagles first in division, LOL. Good game, gents. Nothing better than late night NFL football in October. That's true, Indy. Untouchable Jay makes big bucks tonight, and his Eagles are first in the division.
Oh, Cinderella story.
We're due for a heater. Let's get warm. Yeah, it would be nice. It's today was a good day betting wise. It was nice to be in the black.
It's been tough lately. All right, gentlemen, I think we're going to work on the video. What do you say, Big Rye?
I say hell yeah, brother. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate everyone stopping by and watching the game with us. This was actually a pretty good game to the end between Philly and whoever else played right now. San Fran.
Good one. As if you guys thought he was joking.
But we will catch you guys tomorrow night. It's going to be an early start time. I believe the Chiefs game starts at 4 p.m. Pacific, so 7 p.m. Eastern. Let me just double check that. Yeah, they kickoff is at 4:05 p.m., so we'll be on a little bit before 4 p.m. tomorrow. And yeah, congrats, Jay. You have a good night, Mickey. I guess Cox wasn't sued, but the girl was. Until next time, Big Rye FG. What's going on? Yeah, Andy. You have a good night as well. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Take it easy, Zaps.
Cheers, gentlemen.